morning. I think it is like still just morning. But good morning, everyone. Hello. How are you all? Apparently there's 12 of you here already. So today I shall be cutting out. I haven't done one of those for a while, have I? It's going to be interesting to see if I can actually read the comments this far away. And I have a hot drink, which I must remember to drink whilst it's still hot. It's a lemon and ginger. It's quite nice, actually. This is the last tea bag of it, though, so I need to go and get some more. Caroline's here. Yep, I can barely read the chat. I'm going to have to come closer. Crockett P says good morning. Alova's here. Good morning from Ohio. Good morning. It's very early there, isn't it? So how is everybody? How are you all? I haven't spoken to you for 2 weeks. I decided to spend all of Sunday with Wilson because he had to leave at his ferry was at 6:15, and then he ended up taking him 6.5 hours to get home because just none of the trains were running from Portsmouth. It was a total nightmare. Karen says, good morning, everyone from Long Island, New York. Good morning. Rachel's here. Morning, lovely. Good morning, Rachel. How are you? Has your did you say you've said you've ordered the green Cobra corsage? Has it arrived yet? And which base did you get it on? I want it on both. I have issues. We know this. Alova says it's 7 a.m. Wow. Leslie's here. Good morning, all. Good morning. Leslie in Stanford. Good morning, Sean, and all the lovely peeps. Liana's here. Morning, Sean from Ohio. Karen says we set our clocks ahead last night in the US, so we got an extra hour of sleep. Oh, we did that last weekend. Rachel's ordered the bottle green Cobra's corsage on the viscose challis, and it hasn't arrived yet. My wool arrived from Lady McElroy yesterday, so I traced and altered the cape pattern, and it's all cut out. And I have a little bit. I ordered 3.5 meters of the wool, and I've got like 40 centimeters the full width left, but then I've got some really big size pieces that I could probably get some sleeves. I probably could do sleeves out of it. For like a jacket. I don't unfortunately have a tartan that goes really well with it, like because I've got some other tartan wools. But yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna have to get closer. I can't see. Rachel says you have issues. Yes. Josephine says hello. Hello, lovely. How are you? I was talking to Rachel earlier about ordering in some of the Cobra corsage on the mulberry, red, and teal bases. Would you guys be interested if I put up a pre-order section? I won't be able to sell it any cheaper than any of the other shops, but I will do my best with shipping, because I know some of you guys outside of the UK struggle with the cost of shipping to you guys. So yeah, I could put a pre-order up on the shop, because I know that lots of you guys would like some, because you keep telling me. Although it is becoming more available overseas now as well. So yeah. Ilova says we lost an hour of sleep. Set our clock 1 hour back. Crockett TP says, can't wait for the Cape sew along. I have it all cut out in faux shearling. Ooh, nice. I'm afraid I've changed it a little bit. I'm not doing the facing because the Zimmerman cape doesn't have a facing, and I have put the hood on to the front piece because the Zimmerman cape doesn't have a seam attaching the hood to the cape body. And I have drafted, I think, a 3-piece hood to go with it. So hopefully I'll be able to help, because the attaching of the hood is pretty much the same process. I've just skipped a step by attaching it, like by not putting a seam in it. But the back of the hood is the same shape as the original hood, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. I did a really poor job of explaining it when I was tracing it all out as well. I'm thinking I'm going to watch that footage back and have to re-film it, because I know what I was trying to say, but I don't actually know if this has worked or not. And that's another reason I'm hanging onto the wool. You can just see there that little extra bit of wool, because I have enough to cut facings in the hood and do it the way that the pattern tells me to, if my way doesn't work. Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. We have to get close. I hate being so blind. Marjan says, hey. Kathy says, good morning, Shine and Peeps from Pennsylvania in the USA. So KB hashtag says, good Arvo evening, 11 p.m. here in Melbourne. Now the clocks have changed. Good evening. Yeah, I'm falling asleep at 10 o'clock at night, and then like sleeping through, and then waking up at about 8 a.m. quite naturally without feeling tired, which is weird. Oh, hang on. So Feeling Crafty says, cool hair. Have you done something differently? I bought another one of those faux hair pieces that I had before. I had one in red, and so I bought one to match my current hair color. It's dark brown. So it looks like I've made an effort, but I've just scraped my hair back into its usual ponytail and put one of these on, and I love it. I love it. I wish I had long, thick hair, because I would do so much more with it if I did, but I don't have long, thick hair, so I'm cheating. And I can't afford to have extensions put in, and Wilson hates them anyway, so I'm going to have faux ponytail. Crockett TP says, oh, okay, some people struggled with the directions on that one. I'm not doing the facing or the lining either. Awesome. Yeah, no, yeah, all the reviews I've seen have just said that the instructions for putting in the hood and the lining are just really basic, and they haven't done big enough illustrations. But I am trying to recreate the Zimmerman cape, so it's not like I'm sticking to it. And the wool I've bought as well really doesn't need a facing on it, and because I'm doing the bias binding trim all the way around, yeah, I've changed it quite a bit. So hopefully people will find it helpful, maybe. Feeling Crafty says, hi from Cork and Ireland. Hello. Ilova says, looks very nice. Thank you. Feeling Crafty says, looks awesome. It does look like you made an effort. I know, which is great. And like literally just stick it up in a ponytail. Miss Evie says, good morning from the US. It's 5 a.m. here. Wow. Karen says, your hair looks beautiful. Thank you. So KB hashtag says, great color match on the hairpiece. I know, right? I bought it from Etsy. I got it from the same lady that did the red one for me. And there was only one brown option, so it was this or black, so I went for the dark brown, and it's worked really well. I think looks pretty good. So yeah, Rachel says, I love your hair like that, Sean. Thank you. Yeah, me too. I've been trying to decide what to do with it, because I do really like it bobbed, but I very rarely want to spend all the time making it look good bobbed, and then the minute I go out in any kind of weather, it just doesn't. So I much prefer wearing my hair up. So I'm just going to grow it out so that I can wear it up. And then with hair pieces like this, I can do different styles. I'm planning on getting another one of the plaits that I had previously, because I had one made in red and I really liked that as well. So I'm going to get a dark brown one done as well. Vox 3D, hello everyone. Hope you're all doing great. Good morning, or good afternoon now. Nikki's here. Nikki is here. Hi, Sean and Peeps. Hi, Nikki. Sasha says, hi from Dominica. It's 8 a.m. here. Feel like I'm late. Wow, it's very early. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Nicola says, morning from dull grey, wet Inverness. Good morning, Nicola. Oh, God. Oh, dear. I'm sorry. Nicola. Yes. Why am I having such issues this morning? So I have been busy cutting out. Got some more cutting out to do. There is a new scrap bundle being created. This is going to, there is somebody on my list. Scrap bundle is going to the Gower 30. That's the online name. That's the next person on my list. There's a little bit more to add to this. This denim that I've got on the cutting table will get added to that. And then Janet wanted dog bed stuffing specifically. And I can send up to 2 kilos in the UK for £3.20. I've refunded everybody's shipping on the scrap bundles that I was sending out. The only people that I haven't are the US. There's 2 US Peeps, and it's actually cost me more than you've paid in shipping to send it. So I need to adjust my website for that. Only £1 more, but still. So yeah, I'm going to send this to Janet because I can wrap this up, and this is brilliant dog bed stuffing. So yeah, this is a piece of the wool that came. It's really, really, really nice. It's 20% polyamide and 80% wool. And yeah, this is what I'm going to make the cape out of. So I think it's going to have some nice drape in it, which is good. And then after that bundle goes out, I've got Brookdale 731, Maureen Cullen, and Mariam M. Abdullah, who would like some. And then after that, they are just going to go up in the shop for a first come, first serve basis. I might do, because lots of people have been emailing me, and that's just going to be really difficult to keep hold of. So I might do like a sign up sheet and then like have the list running that way. If I do that on the website, that should be easy to keep track of. So we'll see how that goes. Feeling Crafty says, is that coffee you're drinking? What's your favorite hot beverage? In an ideal world, if you could have a barista on staff. No, I've never actually drank coffee. I've never had a coffee in my life. Caffeine is not my friend. This is a lemon and ginger tea. I bought Wilson one of the Hotel Chocolat velvetizers as a housewarming gift, and it is amazing. Hot chocolate is my favorite hot drink, and he lives just around the corner from a Hotel Chocolat shop, so we can go in there and stock up whenever we need to. And that velvetizer, so good, so good. I'm so tempted to get myself one down here, but neither mum or dad would have any use for it, and there isn't really enough room, so I can't. Debbie says your hair looks lovely today. Thank you. Carmen's here. She said good morning, lovely peeps. Nikki says sunny and windy here in Liverpool. Looking forward to a nice few hours of chat and anything fabric related. Lovely. Me too. And Christine says, hi from Lancashire coast. Looking forward to the chat while sewing a skirt. It's a sew the look of a Dolce & Gabbana corduroy skirt, just saving myself a few £100. Nice. Yeah, that Zimmerman cape that I want to recreate. Let me get the photo up. The Zimmerman cape that I want to recreate is £1,250. I mean, my wool was £30 a metre, and I bought 3.5 meters of it. I did have a £25 discount, so it was just over 50 quid, including shipping. But yeah, it's definitely going to save me a lot of money. Alex is here. Hi, Shine and Peeps. Hope everyone is well. Very well, thank you, Alex. Mum's currently walking Susie, so she can't come and say hi to you. But she's been, when Mum was at church this morning, the dog was just desperately trying to get in here. She was scrabbling at the door, so I'd let her in, and then she'd be like, nah, I don't want to be in here. I just want you to open the door. Like, no, letting all the hot air out. Had the heater on. It's up to 20 degrees in here, so it's nice and warm. Yeah. I'm a, I'm a little bit worried about the sew along for the cape because it's going to be really cool, like recreating something. And I think I can achieve something fairly similar. The only thing that I'm not going to do, I'm not going to put the welt pockets in. It's an online garment, and I just don't like how pocket bags look on an online garment. I don't. Even if you bind the edges and make them pretty, just don't like it. So I'm not putting the pockets in. Plus, because it's a cape, I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to have access to my big pockets in my skirt if I have them, or my bag. So yeah. Let's see. Nikki says, when are you starting the cape? Probably tomorrow. Because I was thinking that I was going to sew with you guys today, but then I realized that I'm really excited about that cape and I want to get it done. So I'm going to cut out the Sorrento jacket, and then, because that's a lot of pieces, if I have time, I'm going to look at retracing the 7131, because these are a size 10. And the first time I made them, this present was a present from Karen Bacchia. I don't know if she's here today. It was one in the KB pattern swap. And I'm going to announce this in the vlog as well, but I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I'm not doing a KB pattern swap this Christmas. I will resume next year for the summer swap and then the Christmas swap next year, but not this year. These are trousers. I loved them, but I hadn't lengthened the crotch enough. I just kind of like added an inch. I hadn't measured. Whoa, no, I'd added way more than an inch and it still wasn't deep enough. So yeah, I need to retrace these because they are tiny. They are seriously tiny. So that's what I'm hoping to do today as well, because I would like to cut those out of the Savannah linen chambray, and I'm aware that it's November, and I have just decided, I've been mulling this over for the whole week, whether I kind of stop doing this collection and move on to sort of more winter appropriate stuff. And I've decided just to, like, you know, power ahead, because if I put aside the things that are going to not be worn for a while, then they probably won't get made for ages, because I have other collections I want to work on next year. So I've already planned pretty much through to next Christmas. So I just thought, you know what, let's just get it done. I was supposed to start this collection in August, and August and September were just terrible. So that's why I'm 2 months behind. And I thought, you know what, screw it, let's just get it done. Renske says, hi all, hello. Feeling Crafty says, funny, I've never had hot chocolate, not a chocolate person, but I love coffee. Caffeine is not my friend either, so I only allow myself 1 cup a day. Love all the ritual of it. Oh, yeah, no, caffeine sends me, I can't sleep, like literally for 3 days. The last time I had, and I don't, like I said, I've never had coffee. I had a Diet Coke, like a, you know, the smaller bottle of Diet Coke, and I didn't sleep for 3 days. It was awful, absolutely awful. No. Alex says, haha, I missed her in the live, in the last live, and of course Susie was there. I watched it later. Yes, she does like to come and join us, especially if Mum's in here. HSO says, afternoon all. The creative Mrs. K says, oh, cape tomorrow, so exciting. I know. I'm hoping it's going to be a fairly quick make as well. The thing that's going to take the longest is all the trim, and I'm still trying to decide, because I've made the trim so it's 1 inch wide, but when you fold it, that ends up being 1/2 inch, which is a lot smaller than the picture. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have to measure to see if I have enough to go all the way around if I double it up. Maybe I did end up with like 26 meters, but there's a lot of trim on that cape. Rensko says, just re-threaded my overlocker machine, and I hate it so much as it took me such a long time till it finally worked. If anyone can recommend a good overlocker, I'm definitely planning to upgrade sometime soon. I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I've got the 1150 MDA, but I don't think they make that one anymore, but it's a Benina one and I love it, but it was expensive. If you have the budget, definitely go for a baby lock. They have air threading, although the new Beninas have air threading as well now. Carmen says, I've been contemplating an old time muff. Wonder if there are any patterns or instructions out there for those. I haven't looked yet. I would think that if there are, they would be in the cosplay and costuming section of McCalls and Butterick. I think I've seen the accessories one. If not in the cosplay costume section, then in the vintage sections, if they still have those. They haven't really released very many vintage patterns for a while, have they? Miss Evie says, how does the KB pattern swap work? Everyone puts their name in a hat. I draw them out. You end up paired with somebody in a different country to you. The budget's £20 and you send each other a pattern, hopefully from your home country, if possible, and then some chocolate or something to make up to the sort of £20 mark. But like I say, we're not doing it this year. It's too late to do it now anyway. We're well into November, which everyone should have been starting to send their gifts by now. But it's a lot of work, and the lovely Nancy does all the work really. But it's been the kind of year that I just want to not do anything with any kind of stress related at this time of year. So I am going to be running it again for the spring summer one, and I am going to be doing it next year, but just taking a year off this year. Crockett TP says, Crockett, what's your actual name, if you don't mind, or what would you like me to call you? Or Crockett P says, the new Bonina overlocker cover stitch are self-threading and beautiful. I was always told don't get a combination machine. I was going to buy the combination machine, and the guy just said, no, don't do that, get the 1150. But that was what he talked himself out of a sale, because there was the other machine cost way more money. So yeah. Miss Evie says, I've heard the doctor say that caffeine has a tremendous impact on hormonal system and that it just isn't very good for your body. Yeah, there's a study they did with spiders where they exposed them to marijuana, LSD, cocaine and caffeine, and then they see if they could spin a web. And like the one on marijuana kind of gave up halfway through, but it looked like a web. And the one on cocaine clearly finished the web and then went on to make another web, and it was a bit shoddy, but he and the one on LSD, it looked like a web, but he'd missed giant pieces of it. And then the one on caffeine, it just didn't even resemble a web in any kind of way, shape or form. It was just this spider just got off on one. So yeah, I think if caffeine had been invented today, it totally would be illegal. But I mean, it affects everybody differently, doesn't it? So yeah. Francine says, good morning from New Jersey, USA. Renske says, thank you. You're welcome. And Rachel says, I've just done a rolled hem on my overlocker. I have a baby lock and it's amazing. It's so easy to thread and change over to different stitches. Nice. Yeah, I do like a rolled hem on an overlocker. Did you use woolly nylon, Rachel? I bought some woolly nylon to try, and I never got around to it because the fabric, it was the blanket coat that I made for my niece. I ended up blanket stitching the edges because it was just too thick to put through the overlocker. Christine says, bonjour peeps from Montreal, cold and frosty today. Good morning. Caroline says, I've treated myself to a Bonina overlocker just before lockdown. It was delivered to my son's and there it still sits. Oh no. Johanna says, hello from chilly North Carolina. It is a chilly 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.5 degrees centigrade. Wow, that is chilly. North Carolina, I didn't realize it get, well, I suppose you are quite far. Yeah. Wow, that is cold. Caroline says, spring summer swap gives us something to look forward to after Christmas. I think so too. Oh, I'm going to be doing the meetup on the Gold Hawk Road on the 19th of November. I need to announce it in the Peeps group as well, but it's a Friday. And I'm doing it on a Friday so that, because I know there are some people that are a little bit freaked out by crowds. And I couldn't believe the difference between the Friday and the Saturday on the Gold Hawk Road when I was there last, which was when I was helping Wilson move in. It was markedly quieter. So yes, it's going to be a Friday meetup, which I do realise will make it slightly more difficult for people that have to take time off work. But I'm hoping that it will be. We'll do a weekend one again at another point. But yeah, maybe in January. If anyone wants to cheer themselves up and come and stroke the fabric in January. Priscilla. Crockett P is Priscilla. Do you mind me calling you Priscilla? Is that okay? As if I can remember it after another hour. Miss Evie says, oh, okay, the swap sounds fun. You've been working really hard, so it makes sense to wait till next year. It's just I've left it too late. I was procrastinating on it, and I will be doing it, like I said, the spring, summer, and the Christmas one next year. But this year, just would like a break. Priscilla says, I bought the baby lock combo 2 months ago and traded in for that new banana combo. Absolutely love it. Nice. Miss Evie says, oh gosh, dog spiders, lol. Who would have ever thought? I know, what a random experiment to do, but if you Google it, you can see the pictures of their webs and it's fascinating. The creative Mrs. K says, Francine, I'm in New Jersey too. And Rachel says, no, I haven't, but I'd like to try it. I've just used my normal overlocker thread to finish the tiers of the 8089 skirt. I'm really pleased how it looks. Ooh, nice. I really like that. I think I have that pattern. If I don't have that pattern, it's on my wish list. Let's see. Johanna says, I live in the mountains, so definitely gets cold up here. Ah, okay. Caroline says, I have the day off that day. Yay. Awesome. So at least be you and me, Caroline. Priscilla says, totally okay. Thank you, Priscilla. Pamela says, in Westchester, Ohio, 29 degrees Fahrenheit, just below freezing. Been thinking about making warm layers. Wow, I'm spoiled. It's like 15 degrees out there, and I've got like a viscose chalet dress on, thinking like, yeah, not too bad. Enough layers. I mean, I have a slip and tights on as well. I didn't even put a cardigan on because the only time I'm only going between the house. So, yeah. Kathleen says, good morning from Illinois. Not sure I'm really awake after being up half the night because of caffeine. Oh, no. Evil caffeine. And Judith says, I have a baby lock, overlockers, and cover stitch. Rachel and I influenced each other, had a combo banana, and only the overlocker part worked. Ah. And Jai0911 says, hello, I am Jennifer. Hello, welcome. Right, it's still just warm. Okay. So I was only going to cut out a couple of projects this cutting out session. I've got 8 there. This will be number 9. And then the trousers, if I get to those, will be number 10. So I've got my denim done. I've cut the pattern pieces out. I have lengthened the sleeve and shortened the body. It's the first time I've ever had to shorten anything. I worked it out. The body by itself is 19 1/8 of an inch long. And my usual bodices are 17 inches. So I've taken off a whole inch. I tried Rachel's on at the Festival of Quilts when she was there. She very kindly let me try hers on. So I've lengthened my sleeve by 1 1/4 inch. If I've got that wrong, Rachel, let me know now before I start cutting it out. 1 1/4 inches added to the sleeve, and then just an inch cropped off of the body, because Rachel's one came down to here, and I would like it to sort of sit slightly higher. And I also did the size 10 because that was the size that Rachel had done, and it fit me lovely. I could have totally stolen hers, and it would have been like it had been made for me. But I did not steal. I wanted to steal, but I did not steal. Now, I'm trying to decide if I put proper denim, like jeans buttons on this, or if I use my coconut shell buttons. I kind of want to use my coconut shell buttons. I kind of like that look. I do have some denim buttons. I've got some copper ones, but I don't know. Maybe I should use the proper thing. But I do kind of want to use these. Probably won't be able to see from that distance, but yeah. I'd need to buy more of these anyway, even if I did. Rachel says, yes, I was keeping my beady eye on you while you were wearing it. Haha. Yeah, I could have done a runner with Rachel's jacket on. Oh, Rachel, I probably shouldn't ask you this in public because you might feel obliged to say yes or be polite. But you know I made the Gertie denim jacket with the turquoise denim, slub denim, and I lined it in the silk. It's too long in both body and sleeves for me. And I was wondering if you would like it because I think it would fit you better than it fits me. And that way I don't feel bad about donating it. And because if you want it, then it's like, but yeah, I thought it would fit you. And then if you have it, then I can justify buying some more denim to make myself another one. If that makes sense. I need to catch up with the chat. Nikki says, wow, just Googled jog spider webs. The caffeine one is absolute mess. Isn't it just? Isn't it? Yeah. Sorry. Such a weird thing, isn't it? Drugged spider webs. Like the other ones, they kind of like, they look like what a spider web sort of kind of looks like. But yeah, the they all kind of look sleeping pills. You obviously got tired halfway through. But yeah, that doesn't like that's just caffeine. That's all that. Oh, I mean, maybe it affects spiders slightly differently, but yeah. Rachel says, oh, that's so kind of you. I'll definitely try it. Anything to make you justify buying more fabric. Thank you. Yeah. I think you wear turquoise, don't you? Have I got that wrong? I think you wear turquoise. I think I've seen you in turquoise. Or is it just me imagining things? Lorraine says, hopefully we'll be coming to the Goldhawk Road on the 19th. Yay! Awesome. Like I say, I'm going to put the details up in the Peeps group on Facebook. And if you're not a member of the Peeps group, you can join. There is a link in the description bar down below. You can join. Miss Evie says, I made a cup of decaf in the afternoon the other day and it still kept me up all night. So no coffee after 11 a.m. Oh, wow. Priscilla says to Judith, wow, it's funny how everyone's experience with machines brands can be so different. Had the opposite problem from you. Wow. Mim73 says, hello to all from a freezing Frankfurt. Good afternoon. Alex says, I use woolly nylon rather a lot, or activewear, for activewear and so on, and definitely covers much better, i.e. rolled hem, but can be tricky for needles on domestic overlockers. Miss Evie says to Nikki, wow, no kidding, it really doesn't look like a web at all. Yeah. Alex says, I use silicone lubricant when I use it for the needles, not just for the loopers, but have different machines, so they have silicone containers. You can do it by hand with spray silicone. Okay. Linda's here. Afternoon, peeps. Just sewing leather on my domestic Genovi. She's not doing too bad. Nice. Chris Murphy says, evening, peeps from Adelaide. Good evening. Caroline says, when I had to have heart tests, I had to avoid caffeine for a month beforehand. Really tricky. Rachel says, yes, I do. I wear most colours, to be honest, except purple. Purple is my favourite colour, but I don't like wearing it for some reason. Oh, that's very weird. I think green is my favourite colour, but that's because it's the colour of my eyes. So I just kind of, yeah, I really like green. Christine says, I was hoping to get to the next Goldhawk Road meetup, but at the Knitting and Stitching show in Harrogate on that day. Next time, hopefully. Definitely. Yeah, I think if you guys are up for it, like a late January, no, it'd have to be early February because I'm leaving Wilson's, because I'm going to Wilson's for Christmas this year on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to stay for a couple of weeks. I'm going to leave around the 14th. They cancelled my hospital appointment tomorrow and they've moved it to January next year. And I've waited so long for that hospital appointment, but never mind. Never mind. It is what it is. So yeah, the next time I be with up at Wilson's will probably be kind of like the middle of February, probably for Valentine's Day. So around there would be the next one. Christine says that street is on my bucket list after parachuting. Ah, nice. Priscilla says to Daydream Believer, is a happy little blowy face with the happy little, like party hat and party streamer kind of face. Nikki says, don't forget to press the like button. Thank you. Yes, 123 of us. Wow, and 28 likes. Miss Evie says, green suits you well. Thank you. Karen says, I really love that dress on you. Thank you. Me too. Me too. To the point where I'm actually thinking that I might cut another one out in this cutting out session, because I haven't got my scuba dresses out yet. I was going to do that this weekend with you guys, but then I thought it's actually one of those videos that's quite popular, like wardrobe clear outs and organization videos. So I was thinking I might actually make a proper video out of it, rather than, because it's easier to do it with you guys because I don't have to edit it afterwards. But yeah, I haven't got my scuba dresses out yet, and I've been just wearing any of my words are hard. I've been wearing any of my long sleeved dresses these last couple of days, and I had to wear my 7892 yesterday because I only had purple tights clean, because it was laundry day. And I haven't worn that one for ages. It's a wrap dress with ruffles. I did a sew along for it a couple of years ago, and I loved wearing it yesterday. So I was thinking that I might try and make just some more long-sleeved woven dresses, because I've been really enjoying wearing them. Really enjoying wearing them. Right, why do I have so many pattern pieces to cut out? Okay. The Rachel, the pocket pieces, like the pocket facing, I can cut out of something. It doesn't have to be denim, does it? Because that's not going to get seen on the outside of the jacket. And does the upper pocket get seen on the outside of the jacket? I think it gets sewn in on the back. Elova says, I use my woolly nylon in my overlocker to finish the edges of table mats. It's kind of tricky, but makes it look good. Miss Evie says, do you think this pattern would work well with chiffon? It looks like the sleeves would just look really nice. Yes, definitely. Definitely. You would need to interline the bodice pieces so it wasn't see-through, and these pieces, but the ruffle, if you did like a narrow rolled hem on the ruffle, and then the sleeves in a chiffon, sheer chiffon, would look really pretty. The pattern actually does. The pattern does allow. It does tell you how to do a chiffon overlay as well. Yes, upper pocket facing, pocket flap will be seen, but the actual pocket facing isn't seen. I'll send you some pics. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually thinking about cutting the underneath of the pocket flap and the underneath of the collar out of cotton lawn. I don't know why. I was thinking could look pretty, but yeah. I am cutting out the Sorrento jacket from Sew Over It. Thank you, Rachel. Right, okay. So yeah, this bit is on the inside, isn't it? And this bit, but the flap's on the outside. Yeah. Miss Evie says thank you. Yeah, so Christine, I'm cutting the Sew Over It's Sorrento jacket out. Big Bird's in the middle of making hers as well. I have drafted a lining for this one. When I say drafted, I traced out all of the outer pieces and put them together so that I can put a lining into it. Purely and simply because I prefer my coats and jackets to be lined. I know this is a denim jacket and it doesn't have to be lined, but I just prefer it. So I'm going to do that. And even if it's like with the Ulysses trench that I made that the very lovely Nancy sent me the kit for. They wanted me to leave the sleeves unlined. They sent me lining fabric to make bias binding out of and to line the back flap. So I lined the back flap and used my own bias binding and then lined the sleeves with the lining fabric that they'd sent so they slip on easily. And it's just, as I say, it's just a preference. I just really, really don't like it when you have to fight to get a coat on and off over your clothes. I want a slippery lining. Anybody else feel like that? Plus, you can have such fun with linings. This one, I am doing the Nina crepe for the body and some strappy silk for the sleeves because this is nice and slippery. And I'm also going to line a waistcoat with this. So I'm going to get that cut out today as well, just to make sure that I can do both. I've got 1 meter 25 of this. I got it from Selvage and Bolts. So yeah, I like a fancy lining. Cool. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is the bit that goes on the inside, so I can totally cut this out of the cotton lawn, can't I? Just to kind of try and reduce a little bit of bulk in that area. Not that my machine complains about bulk, really. Okay. So this one needs to be on bias. Fun times. Let's see if I can squeeze that in somewhere else. We've got 2 cuffs. That's just cut out singly. That's some. Oh, that's be cut on the fold. These pieces feel so tiny. They're not, but they just feel really tiny. Totally ignoring the cutting layout. Actually, maybe that can go in here then. There we go. So that can go there. That can go there. Can go there. Can go there. Can go. Get in there. I can tip you guys down a bit, can't I? And then you could see what I was doing. That would be probably slightly more interesting, wouldn't it? Linda says, yes, can't bear arms too tight or difficult to get on and off. Nimue is here. Hello, everyone. Hope your Sunday morning is sunnier than ours. Linda says, struggling to get a zipper end on a zipper tape. Grr. Have you tried it with the fork trick? Nimue says, your hair looks lovely, Shan. Thank you. Thank you. It's a hair piece. But it's a pretty good match, isn't it? The creative Mrs. K says, on a super random note, we moved house yesterday and I can't seem to find the base of the blender to make my morning smoothie. Glad to be hanging out whilst unpacking. Wow. Oh, yes. You poor thing. I hope it turns up. But I feel your pain. Moving sucks. I mean, it's really, really nice being in the new place and that's all exciting, but the actual process of moving, ugh. Miss Evie says, I Frictiony coat is never frictiony coat is never fun. It drives my 9-year-old crazy. She gets quite aggravated. Lol. Does lining need to be a nice satin? Here in the US, most coats have satin that makes you sweat. I kind of use viscose linings. I do use poly satin sometimes. I have some from Spoonflower that I love. This one, as I say, is pure silk, so I'm treating myself. As long as it's slippery. But yeah, I mean, obviously polyester linings will not breathe, so they will make you a little bit hot. So that's something to consider. I had someone comment on one of the cutting out videos that I did the other day, like one of the time lapses. They were like, oh, you don't seem to be too bothered about grain. Does that affect your eventual outcome of your garments? And it was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, I don't measure the grain anymore with like a tape measure, because you're meant to kind of like measure. That's 19. Yeah, so I do it by eye now, but you're meant to measure from your grain line to your selvage edge to make sure that everything is straight. And I do it by eye, and then every now and again I'll confuse people with something that's cut on the bias, like this bit. And I suppose if you can't see the grain lines, which you can't if you're that far away, then it might look like I'm just shoving pieces in willy-nilly. But one of the things that you really can't mess around with is the grain of your pattern pieces, because it really will affect how your clothing drapes and fits to the body. Like you can cut, if you can cut on the cross grain, you just need to bear in mind the properties of the cross grain as opposed to the straight of grain when you're doing that, and that differs with different fabrics. But yeah, I do pay attention to the grain. I just don't measure anymore because I'm pretty good at doing it by eye. And then if I feel like I've maybe got a bit slightly off, then I will double check it. I'm trying to decide if I go for gold top stitching with this jacket or if I do green. Or maybe like a nutmeggy brown colour, I was thinking as well. And I was thinking that I would do a triple stitch rather than switching between threads, purely and simply because I don't want to wait to order in top stitching thread because I don't have any in stock. But I suppose if I'm not making this tomorrow, which I'm not, then I probably could order it in, but I'm trying to decide what colour. What colour would you guys go for with this? I think this colour is called Cedar. I like the idea of the nutmeg kind of colour as top stitching because I do like the idea of the gold, but that would be really kind of very in your face. So I think maybe the nutmeg brown might be slightly more subtle, but still give like the denim look. But then, like I say, I'm also thinking that I am not going to, that I'm not going to put on proper denim jeans buttons. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should. I don't know. What do you guys think? Dee says, good morning all. Hello. Carol says, Miss Evie, Bemberg lining is rayon and breeze. It also softens a lot if pre-washed. Yes, Bemberg is worth the effort, definitely. It's a little bit shifty, but it's definitely worth the effort. Christine says, I've bought some Coupe Pro lining from Guthrie & Ghani. Gorgeous. Yes, very nice. Miss Evie says, silk satin sounds lovely. Linda says, oh, moving is horrible. Just in rented until we can find somewhere to buy in Scotland. Not even unpacking properly. Can't find anything. Oh, you poor things. Carol says, I often use 2 regular threads instead of top stitching thread. Kenneth D. King does it that way. Ooh, that could be something to try. Then I wouldn't have to do a triple stitch. I'll have to give that a try. Miss Evie says to Carol, oh, thank you for the tip. That sounds very nice. Some of the coats I've had felt like wearing a plastic bag. I wouldn't want a homemade coat to come out that same way. Definitely not. Hide and Silk says light grey. Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. That could look pretty. Carol says, I like the nutmeg brown idea. I've used beige on denim blue and it was nice. You guys come up with some of the best ideas. I'm going around this here so I can pin on this bit onto the fold. I love that they put the grain line on the pattern piece, even though you've got to cut it on the fold. Is it so that naughty people like me don't try and cut it on the cross grain? I always cut my Eve dresses out on the cross grain. Sorry, you can just see my hands, can't you? This denim is from Sherwood. It's a Lady McElroy. This is going to be no surprise to any of you. I am not sponsored by Lady McElroy. I wish I was. We did talk about it. I am just a super huge fan of their stuff. This denim, however, it did kind of come out funny in the wash. It came out with like this marble effect on it, which I was a bit annoyed with to begin with. But you know what? It's actually quite nice. So I'm embracing it. And it's got this denim also has a really nice amount of stretch in it, because I did buy this for trousers, but then I've decided that because I was going to do this Sorrento in the old gold needle cord, which is at the bottom of the pile, so I won't get it out. But then I've also got a pumpkin spice coloured Lupin jacket that I made last year for this collection. So I thought I don't need 2 kind of cropped jackets in very similar colours. So I thought I would go for this green instead. And with the needle cord, I'm actually just like telling you everything that I'm telling you in the blog tomorrow. So if you're watching the hangout, you won't need to watch the blog tomorrow. Where's my Satin? Oh, is it in jumpsuits? Should I put it in jumpsuits? I think it might be in jumpsuits. Here we go. Yeah, I was thinking that I might try and do this with the needle cord. I was thinking this one, but actually that could be quite nice, couldn't it? That's why I have put this in jumpsuits, because I do think it should be a jumpsuit, and I have enough fabric. Fitting those trousers over my hips is going to be a pain in the proverbial, though. No. So we're 53 minutes in, and I've done my first cut. Sal's here. G'day, Sean and Peeps. Hi. And Linda says, yes, just yes, out jeans buttons on. Yes, out jean buttons on. What does that mean? Am I being dim? It's quite possible. It's very possible. Hide and Silk says, apologies if you've already said, but have you had to do a full bust adjustment on the Sorrento? No, I tried Rachel's on at the Festival of Quilts, and she'd made a straight size 10, and it fit her beautifully, and it also fit me beautifully, so much so that I was going to steal it, but she, as she has mentioned today, she was keeping her beady eye on me so that I couldn't run off with her jacket. How dare she? So yeah, I have not done a full bust adjustment, but I also very much doubt that I'm ever going to wear this done up. I didn't even try and do Rachel's up, thinking about it. Very, very unlikely that I'm going to wear mine done up, ever. If I did go with green top stitching, it would be a dark green, like a bottle green, because I wouldn't want it to blend in. Right, I need to cut 2 more of those. Oh, so I need to also put in my notch. And the seam allowance on this thing is 1 centimetre, 3/8 of an inch. I need to remember that. So I need to cut another one of those. Is that going to fit in there? No, it is not. Never mind. They can go over here. That can get put on that pile. Right, so this is my to be cut out of lining fabrics. Can go there. This is what it really looks like. You know, when I show you guys the speeded up version, it's just like, oh, amazing. And then they're usually around 6,000 times speeded up. I wish it went that quickly in real life. Yeah, it'd be nice if it went that quickly in real life. I absolutely love these scissors. They are the Kai 7250 scissors that KK got me, oh God, like 3 years ago now, and they are glorious. I highly recommend, highly recommend. What do you guys think about me doing a gift guide video this year to show to your significant others? Because I did one last year, and I don't think I have very many new things to add to it other than just different fabric. But then I didn't really feature a specific fabric last time. Just sort of like said, you know, get vouchers for your favorite fabric shop or ask because they will tell you. But yeah, I like that video that I did last year. Kind of, I haven't really got very many new things to add to it. Or is there anyone out there that wants me to add something specific that they can specifically show their other half, just to be like, look, this is what I want. Where do we get to with the chat? Evie says put maybe. Yes, put jean buttons on it. Ah, yes. Linda says, no, it's me. Yes, put jean buttons on. Nimue says, make a toile of that McCalls bodice. Cup holder neckline is super pointy, oddly placed darts. There, that's all I'm saying. I ended up altering it to princess seams. Ooh, good knowledge. Thank you, Nimue. Sal says, I saw my kids in person today for the first time in 4 months because of COVID stay home at home orders. Oh, wow. I hope you had a fabulous time. Charlie says, I rarely wear jackets done up. I wear a crossbody bag and I like and like to keep it under my jacket for extra security. Yeah, same. Nimoy says, that's great, Sal. What a long separation. Dee says, Sal, that must be great. Sorry you were separated for so long. Dave on a Rave says, hey. Miss Evie says, I use a rotary cutter and a ruler to save time and keep clean lines, but I'm a rookie and don't trust my cutting skills, lol. I really don't like rotary cutters, but only because I'm so used to scissors. And I tried a rotary cutter once and I ended up with such a mess and wavy lines, and it was just a nightmare. I even tried with a ruler, it just didn't work. I ended up cutting into my French curve and stuff, and it wasn't for me. I do get a lot of people tell me that I should use rotary cutters, but I just prefer scissors. Dave and Rafe says, like today's new angle and the big project you are working on. Thank you. Hide and Silk says, I have Kais and adore them. Yes, definitely wonderful. Dave and Rafe says, gift guide away. Your dress you're wearing looks like Kew Gardens. I totally love it. It looks like fun to twirl or spin in if you're the sort of who likes to do that. Yes, I am, and it is indeed. Charlie says, yesterday I was stroking the teddy bear jackets in M&S. They have hoods that are made of the softest faux fur. Ooh, nice. Doc tries to say, what scissors are you using? These are the Kai 7250. I'm just saying I absolutely love these. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. They are fabulous. KK got me the Kai pinking shears as well, which I love, and I have since bought myself the embroidery scissors, because the ones that I had previously, they just weren't sharp to the tip. And when you're snipping up to but not through thread, you really want it to be sharp to the tip, because if you have to put your scissors over the line of stitching just so that you can get to a sharp point, if you put too much pressure on and you cut through, it's the worst. Ask me how I know. So yeah, highly, highly recommend these. They are fabulous. I have cut in my notches, so I can take all those out. I might end up with enough fabric to cut out a waistcoat out of this as well. How many waistcoats does one person need? I think a waistcoat would look fab over this. I don't know if the ruffle would get in the way. Ooh, might need to try that later. And I cannot wait till Dad and I can get in here properly to put the lino on top of this table, because I keep cutting into this stupid paper because it's got ripped so many times. I really ought to put new paper down. I mean, this one has lasted since May, so it's not done too badly. Oh, one of the tips of cutting with scissors is don't cut all the way so that the scissors close. Just cut so and leave them kind of open as you go. It's a slightly softer gliding motion. Okay, so I'm going to need this pattern piece for my sleeve lining, and I'm not going to mark the cuff opening just yet because I don't trust this all to not get rubbed away, because who knows when I'm going to get to actually sew this one. Not too long though. Definitely going to be doing the cape first. So you can go over there, you can come over here. Right. You can all come much closer. Yeah, with the Gertie denim jacket that I've done, the pattern is lined, but she doesn't line the sleeves, which I thought was really strange, because as we've been saying, like, the only part that I have to 100% line with something slippery is the sleeves, and this was a lined jacket with no lining in the sleeves. So what? That's just craziness. So I just fudged it, and it worked. And I'm going to fudge it with this one, and we'll see how it comes out. Hopefully it will be nice. Problem solving on the fly. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? Let's see. Where did we get to with the chat? Nimue says, don't forget to like the live stream, peeps. 143 of us and 48 likes. Alex says, if you make a gift ideas video, could you possibly mention the Juki LBH 1790S? Possibly mentioning Hedge Hobby in the same sentence. I think I could do that, Alex. Do you think I could do that? Sal says, yeah, it was brutal being apart that long, but understandable to keep everyone safe. We did see the new Marvel movie, Eternals. Ooh, I'm so looking forward to seeing that. I've got to wait till I can see it with Wilson. Not long though. Miss Evie says, I cut into my rulers a few times too. Good scissors probably make much cleaner lines. Highly recommend these if you want to give it a go. But I totally understand that you I always say this: there are no right or wrongs in sewing. There is what works for you, and if you get the result that you want, then that's the right way for you. Janet says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Janet. Charlie says, my daughter just saw the new Dune film. If you like sci-fi, she thinks she will love it, and it's visually stunning. I have watched it. I went with Wilson, and I am currently listening to the third book in the series, Children of Dune. Yeah, the first one's like 22 hours long, and I got through that in 3 days. Sonia says, what length is your Kai scissors? I can measure it for you. The blades are 4 inches, nearly 5 inches long. They are the 7250 L16 high carbon stainless, made in Japan. And they are featured in that gift guide that I've mentioned. Debbie says, what advent calendars are you guys having this year? I'm thinking I've meant treating myself to one. I've gone for the Hotel Chocolat Grand Advent Calendar for Mum, which is got like, it has chocolates in it. It has little Grand Marnier like liqueurs that go with it. For Dad, I've gone for the Hotel Chocolat truffle one, but it's got 2 truffles in each day. So technically I could get a chocolate each day too. And then personally, I have got the Pitt Trading vintage lingerie finding calendar, which has been sent out from Australia and it's on its way. And it had to be laundry day the other day because I had literally run out of clean underwear, and I don't have very many anymore. I used to have a huge selection, and it's now all very boring. And I once made myself a promise that I would always wear matching lingerie. And I've kind of fallen out of that because I've changed size so much, and I want to get back into it. So I have kits. I'm going to have this calendar. So that's one of the things that I am going to be doing next year, is learning to make lingerie. And I have to accept that my first one is not going to be brilliant. It's not going to fit me perfectly, but I need to make the first one to find out what I need to change to make to get to the point where they fit me perfectly. So yeah. Highly recommend the Coffee and Tea Company ones from Germany. There was the licorice one Dad loved. The crunchy one is good. The herbs and spices one is good. But yeah, Hotel Chocolat. Sal says, Charlie, I've seen that Dune movie and loved it. Laurel says, good morning from Chicago. Sonia says, how do you sharpen scissors? I haven't had to sharpen these. I've had these for 3 or 4 years now. People, you can buy scissor sharpening things from Fiskars, although I've heard that they're not brilliant, and you can have them sharpened at your like hardware stores if they do that, but I've not had to have them sharpened yet. Karen says, Kai scissors are amazing. I just found out that they also make rotary cutters. Ooh. Might have to get one of those for Mum for Christmas. The creative Mrs. K says, the bottom of the blender has been found, put inside of the Instant Pot. Of course, lol. Yes, I mean, where else would it go? Obviously. Dave Narave says, I don't know if you made the dress you're wearing today, but when you work with pattern design fabrics, do you use features such as leaves or ever else as a guideline landmark in any way? I did make this dress. I don't think I have very many clothes that I haven't made in my wardrobe anymore. I did make this dress, yes. I did have a lot of this fabric, and I still have a lot of this fabric, but I actually just winged it, which is something that you probably maybe ought to think about with a large print like this, is where everything gets placed. But I was being economical with my fabric, because whilst I had a lot of it, it also was expensive, so I didn't want to waste any of it. So I kind of just put the pattern pieces on and embraced what I got, which I quite like. It is a very busy dress, I acknowledge that. The only thing that I did do was make sure that all the pattern pieces were the right way up, because this is a directional print, because it has little birds on it, and I wanted to make sure all my birds were the right way up. So that's the only proper consideration to the pattern placement that I made, was to make sure that all the pattern pieces were the right way up. Otherwise, I kind of just winged it, and I got really lucky. It looks very pretty. Like my 8577 that I made out of this fabric, I've ended up with like a monstera leaf on both sides of the front of the bodice, and it looks intentional, and it was a total happy accident. So yeah, got really lucky with that one. Rachel Lynn says, got the Kai scissors for my birthday. I love them. Dave on a Rave says, does it differ to when you are working with totally plain fabric? Crumbs, I got worried when you measured the scissors, like, I don't cut the measuring tape. Lol, no. Can you imagine? That would be something that I would do, wouldn't it? I mean, obviously with plain fabric, you just need to make sure that there's no nap. And if there is a nap, take that into consideration. But with patterned fabrics, unless it's super, super, super giant pattern place, and even in that case, I tend to kind of just wing it. I do pattern match occasionally with stripes and ginghams. I tend to not worry about it too much, though. I think I've never had a disaster where I've ended up with like a flower really prominently placed in a bad place, and that's something that you should think about, because they can be comedic. If you get that, if you get flowers in places that just don't look quite right. But yeah, with this one, I just winged it. With my Woodland Harmony one, the shirt dress that I've just finished, I again winged it because I didn't have enough fabric to be fussy about pattern placement. But then when I had like the outer and the inner yokes, I then auditioned, as Mum calls it, or quilters call it. I auditioned the different configurations to see which one I liked best, and whichever print placement I liked best, that one went on the outside. The same with like the bodice detail and things on that shirt as well. But most of the time I don't have enough fabric to be precious about print placement, because I like such big dresses. They are usually so fabric hungry that I kind of just have to embrace what I get. When I made my like Alexander Henry naked lady dresses, I would be way more conscious of what happened there, but that's because the print on those ones was giant, like actually giant, and I wanted specific semi-naked lady front and center, as it were. So it really depends on the print that you're working with, which again, it's not an overly kind of helpful answer because it's very vague, isn't it? Sorry. Let's see. Sal says, I did think the original Dune movie was more visually appealing. I thought it was a little bit comic book, but I was worried about this one, like how they were going to do it, how they were going to fit the whole story into the amount of time that they had, and they haven't. They fit half of it in, which I think is a very good idea. So yeah. Lottie says, hello, I like this new camera angle. Ah, good. Thank you and welcome, Lottie. Miss Evie says, I have some scissors that are that size, but I tend to cut everything, but I tend to have to cut with everything laid out on the floor. So using a little cutting mat works for me now. One day a large table will happen. Oh, I couldn't go back to cutting on the floor. I couldn't. Yes, no, I'm so spoiled. This table is amazing. And I know it takes up a lot of room, but I'm so glad that I asked Dad to make it this big. It's wonderful. Carol says, ask your hairdresser when they have their scissors person come by. Oh, genius idea, Carol. Of course. Very clever. Dave from the Rave says, scissor sharpeners, I never knew. I know in restaurants they sharpen the carvery knives. Sorry, veggies. I wonder if metal nail files can be sharpened. Jennifer's here. Good morning, gorgeous people. Good morning, Jennifer. Doc Tries to Sew says, do you use the 7250 for all fabrics? The site said it's for thicker, more difficult fabrics. Is this for all fabrics? I don't like rotary cutters and they don't like me. I have been cutting viscose challis, lightweight viscose challis with these. Yeah, I've not cut anything with these. I'm cutting out denim at the moment. I'm going to cut out silk with them in a minute. We'll see how I get on. I didn't even know that these were specifically for heavier weight fabrics. You learn something new every day. One thread hanging on there. No, I've just been using them for everything. Do they have a specific set scissor for lighter weight fabrics then? Do I need this? Sorry, concentration face suddenly came on there. Lost the ability to speak. Right. It's going to be a very colour coordinated dog bed that gets made out of all that stuff. Where did I get to? Dave from the Rave says, apologies if I offend anyone with the veggie thing, but but I go through meat-free spells myself. I think you're fine. The creative Mrs. K says, if you haven't sharpened your scissors in 3 to 4 years, wow, I think I might need to invest in Kai's as well. I have mine sharpened every 6 months at least. Yeah, and you guys know how much stuff I cut out. So yeah, I haven't had these sharpened since I got them. They're amazing. Carol says, with a tricky print, I have cut a negative piece of my pattern generally on the fronts to see where the print lands. Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, I probably ought to be way more careful than I am. I thought I could get away with it this one because there's so many bits going on that I didn't think I was going to end up with like a bird on a boob or anything. But yeah, no birds hiding anywhere either. So, Miss Evie says, Dave and Arrive, no offense here. I'm vegan 3 weeks. Oh, where did we get? 3 weeks out of the month. Wow. Maggie's here. Morning. Ask your hairdresser about scissor sharpening. He will know the local people who sharpen scissors. I hadn't even thought about that. You guys are so full of awesome knowledge. Jennifer says, I'm happily unemployed right now for a week. I start my new job on the 15th of November, but I have minor surgery on the 9th. Good luck for the surgery and congratulations on the new job. Exciting. Dave on a Rave says, good for you, Miss Evie, and thank you. Kathleen says, just ordered left-handed kai shears off Amazon. They aren't the super expensive ones, but the handle looks like what I need. The blades are the same as the right-handed scissors, and that's what I prefer. Awesome. Let us know how you get on with them. Janet says, the frill on your dress turned out great. I have just hacked an online pattern for more statement sleeve. Thank you for the inspiration in your last few sews. Have you done any shearing on cuffs? Not yet, but I'm going to. I am going to. Miss Evie says, Dave on a Rave, it's a mission to do, lol. Thanks, of course. Rachel says, so I finished my 8089 and I love it that much, so I'm going to cut another right way. Oh, send us a photo because I can share it with everyone and we can see. And if I haven't got that pattern, I need it because it looks really pretty. What fabric are you going to cut it out of next? Dave on a Rave says, can you imagine, Miss Evie, is the last week of the month and you relax and go, no, I can imagine, Miss Evie, it is the last week of the month that you relax and go non-vegan. Johanna says, I'm a fan of the spring-loaded Fisker scissors. Oh, are they the yeah, I've seen those. Jennifer says, I'm thinking about having my husband convert our storage room into the cutting room. He doesn't know it yet. Sounds like a good idea. Johanna says, that's the Fisker's scissors. They are easy on the hands. Jennifer says to Johanna, that is what I use as well, since they're often on sale at Joann's. Nice. Miss Evie says to Dave on a Rave, I tried to convert to 100%, but noticed around week 4 there was just something my body was needing and just felt horrible till I had usual non-vegan foods. Yeah, you need to listen to your body. I am so happy on this new keto diet. It's working really well for me. I haven't lost loads of weight, but it's working really well for me. I've lost some weight and it's going off slowly, which is good because I don't want to lose it all in too quickly and then I'll just put it back on. Rachel Lynn says, my husband's grandmother gave me a pair of scissors that sharpen as you put them in their case. She said I was the only one she knew that would find them interesting. Oh, that's lovely. Janet says, I raise up the dining room table by putting clay pots under the table legs. It saves my back. Nice. Johanna says, I purchased mine at Joann's, probably with a coupon. Dave on a Rave says, that's fair enough, Miss Evie. We need to listen to our bodies as much as force ourselves to do anything in life. Dave on a Rave says, bird on a boob. Miss Evie says, definitely. Sal says, bird on a boob equal to bird on a wire. Rachel Lynn says, okay, but bird on a boob would make me giggle. Jennifer says, bird on a boob. That's a new saying from the live. What have I started? Dave on a Rave says, bird on a boob. That made me lull for some reason. Don't know why. Almost a pub name, like bird in the hand. Can you imagine? Just going down to the bird on the boob. Miss Evie says, it's fun to realise there are folks from all over in this group with the same clothes. Yeah. Miss Evie says, like a club. Dave on a Rave says to Jennifer, we both lol at bird on boob? Burbs. Miss Evie says, keto seems to work well for you. You've been glowing lately. Oh, thank you. I feel so much better on it. I'm so much less lethargic. Dave on a Rave says, Miss Evie says, Age of Fab, we're a club too who lolled at B&B. Karen says, just curious, but are there any updates on your mailbox? Oh gosh, I'm having such a bloody nightmare with my post office box. My bank refuses to acknowledge that I've moved house. And the card that I use has to be registered to the same address that I'm registering the PO box to. I am really struggling. And my bank doesn't have a bricks and mortar store anymore. It was Clydesdale and it's now Virgin, which I'm kind of upset about because I'm not a huge fan of Richard Branson. But it was the best deal when I had to switch business banking because NatWest had a monopoly. So I got given nearly £1,500 to switch business accounts, and then they had the longest charge-free term as well. But they don't have any bricks and mortar stores, or if they do, they are not on the Isle of Wight. So I am really, really struggling to get them to change my address. They just don't seem to want to acknowledge that I've moved, and I can't set my PO box up without them acknowledging that I've moved, because my card needs to be registered to the address for the PO box. So I'm struggling. But I'm hopeful. I've sent them another letter because they say they need to have a letter signed and prove that it's signed at the new address. So I've sent them another letter. So fingers crossed, we will get the PO box sorted out before Christmas, because I would like it before Christmas, because I know loads of you guys want to send me Christmas cards, which is incredibly nice of you. And you really don't have to. But I'm also not going to say no, because Christmas cards are wonderful. And yes, I am eating a biscuit, but it's a tiny one. And so good. Trying to catch up with the chat. Where did I get to? Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was yummy. Okay. Simone is here. Hi, Peeps. Hi, Simone. Carol says, Bird in the Hand is a town in Pennsylvania. Wow. That's such a cool name for a town. Simone says, I have made an unfortunate rose on the butt once. Oh, you know, last time we you guys were here, we did oh gosh, words are hard. We did sorting out all my fabric scraps. Oh, right. Was it this year? I think it was this year. Do I have the photo? Oh, I hope I have the photo. You know, I made my brother the semi-naked Santa pajama bottoms. Oh, come on, where's the photo? Is it not that year? I know I took a photo of it. There ended up with an unfortunate hand placement of one of the semi-naked Santas. Come on, where's the picture? I know I took a picture. Was it not that year? Apparently it wasn't. Maybe it was the next year. Have you guys seen the Winnie the Pooh bag with the zipper? The unfortunately placed Winnie in the zipper picture. I'll Google that in a second as well. Ah, here we go. Yeah, this was the. Okay, sorry, this is probably very childish, but this was the front seam of the semi-naked Santa photos, pajamas that I made for my brother, and just the hand placement there. I mean, it's not obvious, like super obvious when you're wearing them, but at the time, that amused us all greatly. And then Winnie the Pooh sewing pattern fail. I don't. Yeah, here we go. Again, incredibly childish, but that makes me giggle every time. Oh dear. And if the person planned that, then they've got a very sick mind. Sal says James Bond's next film, James Bond, Bird and a Boob. David Rose says, interesting, Carol. Is it worth a visit next time I'm somewhere near New York or Philly or somewhere in New Jersey, as I want to go back to America? Linda says, love the keto diet. Try it with intermittent fasting. I already intermittently fast anyway. I tend to kind of eat from midday to and then 8, and then I don't eat past 8 o'clock in the evening. And yeah, round till midday again. Although I'm finding I'm getting hungry about 11:30 now. Jojo's here. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. Looks like I've missed an interesting conversation. Hashtag bird on boob. I have no birds on boobs. Alex says, have to leave you. We'll try to get back. Have fun and thank you for this lovely company. Thank you for joining us, Alex. It was lovely to see you. Jennifer says, FYI, the whole family is watching the live right now. Husband and 2 cats, one that sounds like a goose. Oh, hello, everyone. Karen says, maybe your bank has a bricks and mortar location in London. Unlikely. It's a Yorkshire-based bank. But I will look. It's a good idea. Yeah. Charlie says, I went around the world in 1979 and 80. I got off the plane and back in the UK with 43 pence and had to hitchhike home. Then I found the bank had somehow lost all of my money in my savings account. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Wow. I was born in 1979. I was, yes, 1st of May. Jennifer says, hello to all the peeps that have recently joined. Carol says, it's Amish country. Intercourse is nearby. Shouldn't laugh, but that's funny. Kin Carly says, we got a lovely dog from Paradise, Pennsylvania. Lovely Mennonite family. Oh. Laurel says, it's Santa's hand placement. David Norez says, haha, that's brilliant. Sal says, kinky Santa. Miss Evie says, lol, oh no. Charlie says, lol at poor Winnie the Pooh. Marjan says, genius. Jojo says, chuckling at the saucy Santa, hee hee. David Norez says, I'm enjoying this afternoon's rude hangouts. I'm going to get myself demonetized, aren't I? Rose Does says, I made a Harry Potter dress and my pattern matching wasn't the best. Ended up with Harry Potter. My crotch seam. Thinks it very quickly. Oh dear. Sal says, Winnie the Pooh, fun fact, the man that created him was taught science in school by legend sci-fi writer H.G. Wells. Oh, very cool. Lottie says, looks like there's a Virgin Money in Scarborough. You'll have to come visit me. Okay. Careful what you wish for. Dave and a Rave says, too funny, Rose. Did that scar you for life. Nia's here. Big Bird. Hello, peeps. Hi, Big Bird. Carol says to Dave and a Rave, it's Amish country, so very interesting, though it can be quite touristy at times. Lots of lovely quilts to see. Oh, wow. I think I've told you guys this before, but one of the things about Amish quilts, which I found out and I loved, is that they always purposefully sew in a flaw because only God is perfect. So when they make something, that is always a tiny flaw in it. I just thought that was a really interesting fact. I'm going to have loads of this denim left. What should I do with the rest of it? I wonder if I'm going to look for a skirt. Look at me getting overly ambitious. This is very much fun. I enjoy this kind of cutting out and getting to chat to you guys at the same time. Because usually cutting out's not like my super favorite thing to do. I definitely have to be in the right kind of mood for it. But it's fun doing it with you guys. Faye's here too. Hi, Faye. Christine says, actually, Yorkshire Bank took over Virgin Money but decided to use the name. That may make you feel better. Oh, yes, it does. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I was banking with Clydesdale and Yorkshire Bank. Dave and Rave says, on my list to visit, Carol. Julian's here. Hey, everyone. Hi, Julian. How are you, my lovely? Nimue says, can you ask your bank to send you some paperwork so the letter will get returned to them? See how quickly they'll ask you to update your address. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm I'm not being as like proactive with it as I probably should be. I'm procrastinating a little bit because I just hate talking to banks. Yeah, and then I've also made my online banking so secure I can barely get into it. I have the app and I use the app all the time. The app's brilliant, but yeah. So I need to get that sorted out, but then I will let you guys know when I get the new PO box, because cards are always welcome. And I will say again, like, it's very lovely that if anyone wants to send me presents, it's very, very lovely, but you really don't have to. And as you can see, I already have all of the stuff. Cards and letters are 100% what the PO box is for. I keep all of them. I keep my emails as well that I get from you guys. The lovely emails that I get. I have a folder for those. But like the physical cards and things, I have two Lever Arch folders now, full of all the lovely stuff you guys have sent me over the years. And the letters, if I ever feel blue, all I need to do is go and read some of those letters, because you guys are just unbelievably lovely. So I wonder if I've got enough for a skirt. Probably not the kind of skirt that I would wear. What am I going to do with the rest of this? Because I've only got the waistband cut out, and I only need to do that on a single layer. I've got lots of this left. Maybe I should do a waistcoat and then use the rest for a bag. That could be nice. If I bought some more just to make a skirt that I like, there's no way that I'd be able to get the same kind of marble effect from washing it that I've achieved with this one. We just know that that would never actually happen. Right, where did I get to with the trapped? Charlie says skirt looks possible and would be lovely. Yeah. Nimue says, I may have learned how to deal with institutions from the Asterix movie. Lottie says, skirt or coordinating bags? Linda says, oh, you should so organise fabric buying trip to New York. It's definitely a possibility. I would love to go to New York. Kathleen says, just wandered upstairs to the sewing room. Hope to finish the lined wool plaid pencil skirt. McCalls 8004. First time to make a lined pencil skirt. It's surprisingly slimming. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Sal says, there's a failed graffiti involving fabric where they were meant to say all hail Satan, but spelt it all hail Satin. Lol. David Arave says, on the theme of funny things, rule number 1, when about to be measured for a suit or dress, go to the toilet. Having a waistband measured on a full bladder isn't pleasant. I can imagine. Angela says, my husband had a Yorkshire Bank account. The Yorkshire Bank buildings here in Sheffield are now closed, but there is a Virgin Money Bank, which is like a coffee lounge and includes a grand piano. Wow. Marjan says, I am tracing a new onion pattern. Will be a blouse, very soft baby jersey with bunnies. I am using my second-hand bought horn cutting table. Ooh, nice. I've never had a cutting table before, as they're very expensive here. Yeah, the horn one is especially expensive. It's like £900. Is it the one that raises up and down and flips so that you can store it as well? Dave on a Rave says, also, I was wriggling and jiggling, but too embarrassed to say I needed to use the bathroom, so I had to get hard to get accurate measurements. They must have hated you. Stand still. Linda says, think Virgin have taken over Yorkshire Bank, closing Yorkshire Bank sites all over the place. Marjan says, in Denmark. Welcome. And yeah. Is it the horn one that kind of folds out and then goes up and down in height? And Miss Evie says, is Christmas big for everyone here? I didn't celebrate it growing up, and as an adult, I realised there's a lot that I don't really understand. Lol. Yes. Christmas is yeah, I'm a huge Christmas fan. There will be Vlogmases this year. And mum and dad, daily doses of mum and dad, because I know you guys have been missing them. They have been enjoying not being on camera quite so much though. Carol says, I'll be happy to lead an NYC fabric shopping trip. Carol, I am taking you up on that when we can freely travel and I have some money to spend, because this last 2 years has decimated my my business earnings massively. Like, I've lost half of my earnings these last 2 years, but never mind. I'm not the only one. I know that. It's not poor me. Sorry. Yeah, that was just, yeah. But yeah, when I can afford it, I'm totally up for that, Carol. Nia says, Sal, the Foo Fighters have an album of the Bee Gees covers called Hail Satin, and it's amazing. She showed it to me. It's so good. The Stitchy Wife says, hi from grey and rainy Sweden. First time here during a live and loving the company. Elizabeth, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Marjan says, yep. And very cool. I do like that one. It's 900 quid here, so that's why I don't have one. And Dad built me this, although we end up spending quite a lot of it on this one. Judith says, good afternoon, everyone from Yorkshire. Good afternoon, Judith. Linda says, I went on my own about 4 years ago. I loved it. Oh, Wilson really wants to go back. His brother lived there for a while, and he had free accommodation whenever we went. But they moved back to the UK, unfortunately. So no free accommodation. But I would love to go to New York. And I would have to go to Mood. just for the experience. And I've heard it's not actually that pleasant in real life. They can be a little bit snooty, but I still want to go. Okay. Wasn't meant to end up with this much denim left over. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with it? Now, technically, you're meant to cut with the pattern on the right-hand side of your scissors, but I really don't like that. I find it much easier to get a clean cut with the fabric on the left-hand side of my scissors, unlike this one. And again, you've got to find what works for you, and then that's the right way because it works for you. But what do you guys do? Do you do both? Yes, it's my pocket flips. Where is my other? There it is. Flaps. Okie dokie. Where did we get to with the chat? Renske says, I would love to join in on a New York trip. Well, if I do manage to do it, I will totally let you guys know when I will be there. And we can have a New York meetup. Still fully intending to get to Australia and do that as well. Because I had held off because I thought I was going to be having surgery. And I'm still waiting for appointments. So I should have just gone, shouldn't I? But never mind. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Jennifer says, the only sad thing about the new job is that my headquarters is no longer in New York City, it's now in Minnesota. Oh. Sal says, don't like Christmas for one reason, was born 6 days before it, which means joint presents, lol. Oh, I think I've told you guys this before, my granny's birthday was Christmas Day, and she insisted on separate birthday and Christmas presents. Christmas morning was Granny's birthday, and Christmas afternoon was Christmas. Charlie says, we all miss your mum and dad. Looking forward to Vlogmas. Also, I'm contemplating buying a Lindt advent calendar or possibly a liqueur chocolate advent calendar. Not to enable or anything, Charlie, but have you seen the Hotel Chocolat ones? I'm not sponsored by them either, but oh, they're good. Well, at least I hope they are, because I bought both of them for mum and dad. Jennifer says to Sal, my birthday is 11 days before, and I understand. Oh, yes. Jojo says, don't forget to like the stream, peeps. Yeah, Dad's birthday is on the 9th of December, so it's not, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but yeah, I like that my birthday is May, so I get like, you know, presents like spaced out through the year. It's Big Bird's birthday soon as well. Jennifer says, didn't find mood snooty, but incredibly busy and packed. Oh my gosh, so packed. Oh, wow. Nia says denim waistcoat. Yes, but I think I've got enough to possibly do a skirt. That's what I'm thinking. Rachel Lynn says you should get out the skirt pattern and see if it'll fit. I think I might do that. Laurel says today's the day I cut into my first ever plaid fabric and definitely have the fear about pattern matching on the side seams. You can do it. Cut it out on a single layer and then put your piece that you cut out on top of the other piece, obviously making sure that you've got a right and a wrong side together, or, you know, up, so you end up with a pair, but use cut out single piece and use your cutout piece as a guide so you can line up all the, totally works, totally worth it. Marjan says, we live in a rental and I don't have extra room for sewing, so this is very nice. Any FYI, my name is pronounced Marion in English. It's easier. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Marion, because I'm clearly getting it wrong. Sorry. Lynn says, hi, Sean. I just tuned in while starting to unpick the sleeves from my Black Vogue 8346 coat. The shoulders are too wide and I want to bring them in a bit. Ooh, nice. Nice. Lynn is the master of all coats. She has made all of the coats. She was one that recommended me that tailoring book, which I keep recommending to you guys. Big Bird's birthday is the 17th of December. Yes. Sal says to Jennifer, if you were born 82 as well, then we are only days apart in age. And Jennifer says, unfortunately not. It's 1978. To Sal. Carol says, I do buy fabric at Mood. Their selection is good for many, not all fabrics. You just have to see the help are fabric cutters, not salespeople. Yes. Yes. I want to go and look at their Zimmerman collection and their rayons because they have some amazing rounds. Nia says, 82. I've got socks older than you. Rachel Lynn says, and by skirt pattern, I mean the one from the dress. I can't think of the number. Yeah, you mean the 6380. Possibly. Or the 9357 with the big pockets. Charlie says, my children were both meant to be born at Christmas, but my daughter was late and my son was early, so we have to celebrate from 16th of December through to the 1st of January. Oh, that's good though. Jennifer says to Carol, me too, but only if my other sources are out because they tend to be pricey. Nimue says, I wasn't into sewing when I visited New York years ago. Sad face. Julian says, was born on the 27th of November and my family always tries to lump gifts together. I hate it. No. That's so bad, Julian. Birthdays are completely separate to any other holidays. Totally agree. And I always think birthday presents as well should be something that you probably wouldn't get for yourself. Like Wilson won't buy himself newly released games, even though he wants them because they're so expensive. So I get them for him because I like treating him to something that he gets to play like 2 years earlier and when he waits for the game to be discounted. Karen says, a new New York City trip would be amazing. Plus, since I only live 35 minutes away on the Leary, I would get to meet you. Cool. We'll have to organise this. Definitely. Nia says, I don't mind joint presents as Baby Bother is buying me the fabric for my Jessica blazer as a joint present. You did ask for very expensive fabric though, Nia. It's going to be beautiful. It's like a heathered blue. It's very pretty. Marion says, my birthday is the 4th of July. Ah, cool. Mine's May Day, so yeah. Caroline says, my sister's birthday is December 20th. Mum and Dad always did separate presents for her and a party in the summer. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Yeah, like I say, Granny was Christmas Day and Christmas morning was Granny's birthday with a separate cake, separate presents, and then Christmas afternoon was Christmas with separate presents and a separate cake. I don't blame her at all either, because like you get one day a year that's all about you, and then if it falls on Christmas or near to Christmas, then there's other stuff going on and it's all about everybody. So yeah, totally agree. Nimoy says, advent calendars. I have the IKEA one, a lint one, a Peanuts sock one, and 2 escape room book ones. I think I'm set for December. Can you tell I really like advent calendars? That's awesome. Sal says, I'm less than a month younger than Lisa Comfort from So Over It. Good knowledge, didn't know that. The creative Mrs. K says, heavens, using the pattern piece as a guide for pattern matching, genius. Love being around wiser sewing people. You're welcome. Anna says to Jennifer, lol, Minnesota isn't too bad, but boy, it's cold here. Lady Vegas says, hey, I made a live. Hello from Ohio in the USA. Good morning. Rachel Lynn says, pockets. Always pockets. Right. Yeah, I wonder if it will fit. I think it might be too big. I don't think I've got quite enough left for that one, but we'll see. We'll give it a go. Alexandra says, hello again. Definitely make the Vogue skirt with pockets, if it'll fit. Mim says, mine's the 27th of December. That's the worst birthday you could have. Oh, bless. Yeah. Everyone's all deflated from all the Christmas stuff. Eliza says, wait, just showing up to catch the talk of New York City. Are you coming to the US? Nothing's definite. We're floating ideas, but I would really like to come to New York City. I really would. And I will give you guys plenty of notice because I'd love to do a meetup with anyone that could make it to NYC. That would be amazing. And I'll see if I could talk Erica Lee into flying across the entire country to come and see me. Maybe I could go and see her in Seattle afterwards, though. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Lynn says, your granny was just right. I like her style. Yeah, totally. Her name was Mifanwy. Very Welsh. Although apparently her first name was Pamela, because all the women in my family on her side were always known by their middle names. So technically I should be Elizabeth. Although I was named, Elizabeth came from my auntie Betty, and she was actually christened Betty. So technically I should be Betty. And Mum really wanted to name me after Granny, but Dad put his foot down and just said no, because it would be a really difficult name for people to pronounce. So I got Sian instead, which is just as difficult. Probably less difficult than Mifanwy though. Linda says, so expensive in New York though. Lol, couldn't find mood when I was there. Yeah, it's like you have to go up an elevator or something, don't you? It's not like a storefront on the street. Anessa says, my son was due on December 24th, but couldn't miss a good party, so he came for the baby shower on the 11th. He hates when people put his birthday with Christmas. Yeah. Nimue says, a friend of mine's birthday is January 1st. She hates that at midnight everyone is all about the new year and nobody congratulates her. So now I always text her happy birthday at midnight. Oh, that's lovely. Julian says to Lady Vegas, I'm in Ohio too. There's quite a lot of you from Ohio this morning or this afternoon. Well, your morning. Miss Evie says, my birthday is December the 16th. Most people mix it with Christmas, so I don't usually do much for it. Meetup would be so neat. Moran says, hello from Israel. Glad I got to the live chat. Good afternoon. And Lady Vega says to Julian, I'm in Daytona. Right, did I get that wrong? Dayton, not Daytona. Daytona's in Florida, isn't it? Dayton. Let's get the rest of this cut out and then have a look, see what kind of skirt I can squeeze onto what I've got left. Because a skirt would be really cool. Dayton, not Daytona. Daytona is Florida. I'm just muttering to myself now. Yeah, I'm really enjoying listening to the Dune books again. Wilson only knew about the Dune story from the computer game, which I used to play as well. He didn't really know anything. He knew the Harkonnen and the Atreides and the Sardaukar, House Carino, and the spice and the worms, but it was all from the computer game, which I think is amazing. Okay. So this evening I need to order. I need to put it on my list. I have a list of things that I need to order. Still haven't ordered the bias binding yet. Right, I need to order jeans, buttons, top. No, I'm not going to order top stitching thread. I'm going to try the double thread that you mentioned because that sounds like a really good idea. And I have the perfect colour, but I do need to order the jeans buttons. You guys have talked me out of doing the coconut shell ones. Right. So how much of this have I got left? Oh, I might be able to get a skirt out of this, you know. 160. I do still need to cut out the waistband. So now, which way is the grain line on this? Did I not mark the grain line in? That was stupid. There's me banging on about how I always respect the grain lines. I didn't mark it on. What is the grain line? Down the centre. Hucky ducky. I can do that. Let's actually mark the grain line on so that if I do make this again, which is quite likely because I do like this, I will know in the future without having to get the pattern piece out. I think it's because they don't put the arrows on their grain lines, the sew over it patterns, that I think I just ignored it. I don't know why having the arrows on each end makes it more obvious to me that it's supposed to be a grain line, but there you go. Right. Oh, I think I've got an eyelash in my eyeball. Oh, that doesn't feel good. That's better. That's better. Right. Pin this on, get it cut out. Then we can get out skirt patterns and see which one I can do. Because otherwise, it might be a waistcoat and then like the rest of it gets used for bag making, because this would make some very nice bags. And I do want to make another big slouchy bag, like my green embroidered one, but without the embroidery on it, because I do like hobo bags. They are my favorite. I've been thinking about the mustard, the spicy mustard Mora leather, the Emmeline bags Mora leather that I got, and what pattern I want to make with that. And I was thinking I might try and upsize the Carter Messenger bag because I love that style. It's just a little small for me. And then I might try and steal the braided handle from the Maggie 55 three-way satchel. I can't remember what it's called. Just remember Maggie 55. Yeah, I was thinking that could be quite nice. I do want to do the Aura Rosa Magdalene bag, which is a circular one. Haven't made a bag for over a year. I've got a whole shelf in my room empty for new bags to be put on display. And I have so much cork and leather and bag patterns that I want to try. I used to make, it was because I always do bags at the sewing retreats. So it was, I think I haven't made one because I haven't been able to do a sewing retreat for so long. Okay, so just put in the notches and then we can get some skirt patterns out to have a look at. I'm really pleased that I decided to do this because I was just going to stop and sew up what I've got left, but the longer I leave this jacket to be made, the less likely it's going to get worn this year at all. I mean, it will get worn eventually. That's why I've decided that I'm just going to power ahead with the more summery projects in this collection, because whilst they might not be appropriate for the current weather that we're having, still got to cut out the lining, but I'll do that in a second. These pieces over here, so I don't forget. Right, so let's try and line this all up again. Where did we get to with the chat? Let's see. Where did it? There we go. Eliza says, I'm in Ohio as well. Miss Evie says, coffee in hand, enjoy. Carol says, now they have a home deck store on the street level, so it's easier, but yes, elevated to the 3rd floor. Cool. Julian says to Lady Vegas, I'm in Cincinnati, like 45 minutes away. You guys, there's so many. I love the fact that you guys are all like, oh, we actually live really close. Because I mean, I don't really know very many sewing people. There's obviously the very lovely Claire from Penguin and Pear. She lives on the island as well. I haven't seen her in ages. Stupid COVID. But yeah, it's always nice when you discover people that are fairly, I mean, relatively close. Like 45 minutes in the US is pretty close, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Charlie says, my daughter has never forgotten the village millennium party. There were fireworks and the whole village sang happy birthday to her. Sadly, no other birthday will ever match up. Aww. Lady Vegas says to Julian, my bestie lives in Hyde Park. I'm guessing that's in Cincinnati. Karen says, even though I worked in New York City for 25 plus years and walked past the garment district almost every single day, I only went into mood once and found it very overwhelming. I can imagine. Rachel Lynn says, Daytona is in Florida. If you go there, I'll meet you. It's only a few hours away from me. We just got the Lord of the Rings for my daughter. A whole new world is about to open up for her. Oh, wow. Vanessa says, I made a 2nd coat this week, trying to raise the neckline from warmth. My first one was a wool blend, fleece lining. 2nd one just proved it never came close to fitting and looks comical. Oh, you can do it though, Vanessa. You'll get there. Lady Vegas says, Eliza, what part of Ohio? Jennifer says, I love the boots you have on. I have no boots. Nia says, I used double thread as top stitch and it worked perfectly. Mine was stone bone coloured. Ooh, cool. Jennifer says, I'm making potato soup and homemade rolls if you're in Texas this afternoon. Ooh, yummy. Although I can't have potato or bread, but sounds so good. Anessa says to Jennifer, the secret pants. Oh my gosh, the secret pants. Miss Evie says to Jennifer, really? I love I love Bernadette. That's so cool. I'm next door in NM. If I only had a car, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Nia says, I also cheated and cut my waistband on the fold. Rebellious. Oh, very rebellious. Oh, I could have done that, couldn't I? Yeah, never mind. Jennifer says, haha, yes. If you're in her 25 tier, you get a live hangout once a month. Very cool. And Sal says, I'm currently listening to the Sandman comic on Audible. Nice. Miss Evie says, I wish I could afford that. COVID times. Rachel then says, have you made the threads free hobo pattern? Never made a bag, so I thought I'd start there. I haven't. No. Have I though? Is it kind of like a lacy overlay of an orange bag of orange under fabric? Because if it's that one, then yes, I have. Nimue says, I organised this week that I'm going to take overtime around Christmas, so I'll have a whole extra week of vacation time saved for the retreat next year. Exciting! Exciting! I'm going to be able to email everyone on the retreat the dates as well very soon. Finally got it sorted, I think. Carolyn says, good morning, sweet peas. I'm in Texas, Panhandle. In the Texas Panhandle. Eliza says to Lady Vegas, I'm in the Hocking Hills. Jennifer says, we were talking about Bernadette Banner. I didn't know if it was okay to talk about another YouTube Patreon on here, so I removed it. Yes, totally fine. I'm a patron of Bernadette's as well. Only the $10 tier though. Right. So I'm going to have to... Now that I've cut that bit out for the waistband, I'm not sure if I'm going to have wide enough fabric for that Vogue skirt with the pockets, but we can try. We can certainly try. It might have to be a waistcoat and bag fodder, but we'll see. We shall see. Come on, grain line. I probably could get the 6380 out of what I've got left now. Because I don't think I'm going to have enough for the Vogue one. Pretty sure I'm not going to have enough for the Vogue one. Now I've just got to find where I put skirts. Where did I put skirts? Is it skirts? That's coats. Is it dresses? Underwear? Bags? Where did I put skirts? Oh, are they over there? Yes, found them. Do I have it in a separate one? No. It's in the dress one anyway. Oh dear. 5, 9, 5, 7. I think it's going to be too big, which is sad. Skirt, pocket, skirt. Okay, that bit's good. That bit's good. Me. That bit's not so good. How can I finagle this? Yeah, it's that waistband as well that's caused the problem. How can I finagle this? Because this can get cut on the front. Oh, I could make it just a little bit. Like that. I did draft a slightly smaller back piece when I did the parrot dress. Do I have that still? For parrot dress, let's try that one. This might work. Could possibly work. Let's see where to get to the chat. Rachel Lynn says the Hobart bag looks like it's been made out of jeans. No, it's not the same one then. The TV says any meetup would be amazing. My college teacher got me into sewing last December and lives in Pennsylvania, and I'm contemplating talking her into going too. Oh, how? Alison's here. Hello, Sean and Peeps. Hope you're well. That Vogue skirt that you're making, Sean, how is Chiana today? She is very well, thank you. And I'm hoping that I might be able to squeeze a Vogue skirt out of the back of this. We'll see. Alison says, I've just got finished the Vogue 9090 skirt. It's great pattern. Made mine from Japanese denim. I'm going to make 2 more, one in cotton canvas and the other in teal corduroy. Ooh, pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Right. So this one is too big, but only by a little bit. So let's see if my slim down one. So I need to put this back up here, and that could go this way. That might help. It could go there. Obviously, we'll press these if this ends up working. Ah! Might I be able to do this? It's still a little bit too... How can I do this? If I... Okay. So this bit fits up here. Okay. Come on. Come on, wrinkle. I can do it! Yay! Right. So, I need to iron my pattern pieces. And then refold this so I can cut the top bit out on the fold. I'm gonna eat a biscuit whilst I'm doing it. Still need to get a waistband, but I can piece the waistband because it can have side seams in the waistband, can't it? Going to be a really interesting, like weird kind of I'm calling it a marble effect. Right. Okay. Okay. Where do we get to? Where do we get to? Connie says, after cutting out the first skirt piece, refold the fabric and it will fit. Result, refold. Keep saying resold. Sasha says, don't forget to hit the like button, peeps. Alexandra says, the skirt will be fabulous. Marie says, good day from Long Island, New York. Good day, good morning. And Andrew says, is this a Lady McElroy denim? Yes, how did you guess? Although I'm the one that's ended up accidentally kind of tie-dyeing it. That wasn't how it originally came. Right. So, need to move that over. Still need my waistcoat pattern pieces for the lining, which I'm going to cut out next. Iron pattern piece, nice and flat. This is where I discovered that the wrinkles were making it fit. This one has tape on the front, so I shall iron it from the back so that I don't melt the tape, because that would not be good. And pockets. Gotta love a good pocket. Got to love a good pocket. Right. So I did it that way up, didn't I? Fit the pocket in there. Smooth. Yep. Yep. Okay. Let's get started. So I've caught up with the chat as well. That never happens. You guys have gone quiet. Oh, we've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Are you guys enjoying the cutting out stream as opposed to a sewing stream? Because I'm enjoying it. Sal says, if I stop talking, it's because my mind has travelled to the land of dreams. Yes, it is the middle of the night for you, Sal. So if you do go to sleep, it's kind of understandable. I shan't take it as that I'm boring and sending you to sleep. Okay. So I'm going to line the pockets, because I do line the pockets for this skirt. It's just, again, a preference of mine. I'm going to line them with, anyone guess? Care to venture a guess? Let's see. Charlie says, I like both streams. And Caroline says, definitely. Miss Evie says, I do. Anessa says, I like the Hangouts no matter what you're doing. Oh, thank you. And Laurel says, same as Anessa. Thank you very much. Caroline says, yes, man, love all the streams. Lottie says, I don't mind either. It's nice listening while I'm tidying. Jennifer says, I had to go use the facilities. Bio break. Miss Evie says, they are highly educational and full of much needed silliness. Oh, awesome. And Sal says, you can never be boring, Sean. Miss Evie says, viscose. No, I'm going to use a cotton lawn, but can anyone guess what print I might be using? Nimue says, I'm very focused on ironing my patchwork blocks properly. Would love to finish one more block before Mum and I start making waffles. Eliza says, I love that you read the comments because I frequently listen whilst driving. Love having company while driving. I like reading the comments out because I know some of you guys aren't. I think I did one of the first Hangouts, and I didn't read the comments out, and it just, watching it back was very disjointed because if you don't know how to get the chat up as well, it's just me just randomly spouting out weirdness. So yeah. But yes, no, you definitely shouldn't be reading comments if you're driving. Nimue says, I'm enjoying the cutting session. Olivia says, good morning from Iowa. Rose says, I like watching anything but fabric Tetris is fun. Alexandra says, I enjoy watching the cutting out pockets lined with Savannah lawn, perhaps. Yes. And Karen says, agreed, 110%. Yes, Savannah cotton lawn. I mean, it has to be, doesn't it, really? But yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this because it's quite fun doing it with you guys. I mean, I'm not going to only do one or the other, but it is good that you guys are enjoying this because I won't feel so bad if I have to do a cutting out stream again. I was a bit worried that I wouldn't pay enough attention to you guys, but it seems to be working quite well, doesn't it? I'm getting there. I am getting there. Okay, let's get these two bits cut out. Then we can do the rejigging so we can get the other skirt backs cut out. That's not a happy sound for a radiator to make. Oh, I could use my Woodland Harmony bias binding on the hem of this. Cutting into the paper on top of the table. Okay, so my notches. Notch. Okay. So front piece done. Just got away with that. So fold that up. Put this over here. Okay, let's cut out this pocket. I do love this skirt. As you know, guys know I wear my blue denim one frequently. I don't wear the red one as much, but that's because I haven't really got anything that goes with it. Okay, so outer pockets are done. And cut that out of cotton on. Right, now we can refold for the back panels. Well, let's just hope I didn't fluff up and get it wrong. Oh, it looks like such a little piece of fabric. You can do it. You can do it. You will fit, because you have to fit. It'll be fine. I still need to try and get a waistband out as well. Which I'm going to have to piece, but that's okay. Just a little bit off there. Yes. Okay, so get this pinned on, waistband, and then we can, there's a bit missing under here, which is why I'm feeling along here, so that I make sure that I'm not cutting out the top of my skirt where there's no fabric underneath, because that would be bad. Yeah, I think I I removed 3 inches of flare from the back of this skirt so that I could cut my parrot dress out of the plain grey Dolce & Gabbana fabric. And I really like how that skirt still looks. It's still got enough flare in it for me. So clearly past me, doing future me, they're solid. And I took the flare out by slashing and spreading. That's what these 2 lines are down here. So it's the same way as I added flare to the 7319 skirt. I just took flare away from this one. So there. And him. is a very pleasant surprise. And this is my now 10th project that I've cut out in this cutting out session. But I am pleased that I managed to get this skirt out of that remainder. I really only thought I was going to have enough for a waistcoat, so that's good. It's very good. Okay, so let's put this away, and then I'm going to measure the front skirt piece. Just to see what size this waistband piece needs to be. Because I am going to have to piece the waistband, but that's fine. Usually I would just cut out a straight. Okay, so it needs to be 8 inches. So 16 inches across the front. If I've got a piece that's that big. Do I have a piece that's that big? Yes, I do. That's good. Okay, so 8 inches for the front. Then I'm going to do a bit more for the back, and I will cut that into 2 pieces. And then I'll cut the lining out the same way. And then I can adjust it when I actually sew it in. I can adjust, because one bit needs to be longer at the back than the other pieces. Because I now do it so that my zip goes up to the waistband but not through the waistband, because I found that that was just a bit of a nightmare. I did draw that in, but I can't see it. Some randomly shaped pieces there. I'm ending up with very little actual cabbage from this, just properly scraps. Let's cut out the rest of this waistband. And then, okay, so that's the waistbands. That's all I've got left. So that's going to go in the bundle. For Gower 30, that was the next person on the list, wasn't it? There we go. Right, now I've got a whole bunch of linings to cut out. Right, let's see, where did I get to? Laurel says, skirt front cut out. The plaid set, it has a very narrow navy stripe down the centre, so I drew them on the pattern. Yeah, I do that too. Miss Evie says, this is the only place I get to have somewhat of an adult conversation. Sort of adult. Miss Karen says, I enjoy your live chat no matter what you're doing. Thank you. Jane says, hi all, just got in and joined. Also cutting out a couple of frayers, need some basics for winter. Nice. Marion says, lunchtime, see you later. Thank you for joining us. Karen's here. Good morning, morning peeps. Good morning, Karen. We were talking about you earlier, saying I'm going to redo the 7131 trousers that you sent me because I loved them. Jacques says, love the sound of fabric being cut. Me too. I think it kind of sounds like people walking through crispy snow. Kind of. Carolyn says, the sound of shears cutting fabric. Anessa says, Savannah pockets and woodland harmony binding. It goes with everything. Laurel says, but OMG, how did my rotary cutter blade get so dull? I put a fresh blade on to cut the underlining fabric and hadn't cut anything else in the interim. Weird. Jennifer says, I bought all the groceries yesterday, and of course there are two things that I forgot, so I have to run out and get them today. Oh, I hate when that happens. Nimue says, that radiator sounded nothing compared to the epic clanging sound the air ducts of the library make when the AC heating is turned off in winter. Oh, wow. Jennifer says, I'm trying to figure out if I can replace them. The CV says that's a good size pocket. Oh, it is. Yes, they are brilliant size pockets in that skirt. Nitty Cat Studio says, good morning. Good morning. Jack says, what's the name of the colour of this denim, please? It is Cedar from Lady McElroy, and I got it from Sherwood's. Lottie says, waistcoat and skirt will make a great set. Well, it's actually denim jacket and a skirt, but I would have loved to get a waistcoat out of that as well, but I think I did well to get that skirt out of it. Anissa says, what did you cut from the denim first, please? I missed it. It was the Sorrento, so over at Sorrento jacket, and I'm just about to start cutting a lining out for it now. Debbie says, those scissors make a lovely noise. They do. They are the Kai shears, and I love them. Aisha says, could you get some bag bits out of that? Possibly, but I'm going to put it in with the cabbage for that parcel because I really dislike trying to cut pieces out of scraps like that, which is why I don't do it. I much prefer it when they're kind of at least a little bit squared off at some point. Carolyn says to Debbie, yes, ma'am, they really do. Diana says, hello, I just got here. What are you making? I was just cutting out a Vogue skirt. Lottie says, my husband thought the cutting noise was chi with a hairball at first. Oh, no, thank goodness it wasn't. Carolyn says, you know, casinos engineer the noises of the machines to keep you there. Scissors cutting fabric does the same for me. Lottie says, oh, jacket and skirt, even better. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Okay, so I have got some lining pieces to cut out now. So I need to iron my cotton lawn and get that bit done. And then we've got some viscose to get cut out. Not viscose, the Lena crepe to cut out as well. These are still leftovers from my 8577. Like my 5 meters of fabric have done me well. I'm a little bit sad that I couldn't get a tie fronted shirt out of the leftovers from the cotton lawn, but then I have made everything in this viscose, so I don't think I'm going to miss out by not having a cotton lawn Savannah shirt. And obviously I'm not ruling out not doing that in the future because I'm a weirdo, but we all know this. We do all know this. Okay. So I should be able to get maybe a pocket and some of the waistband bits out of that. And then definitely going to be able to get the rest of it out of this. And then I'm going to save the rest of this for some lingerie making. So I'm actually going to, once I've got these bits cut out, I'm going to put this into the box where I keep all my lingerie pieces. And the Boylston bra, no, is it Boylston bra? Yes, it is the Boylston bra from Orange Lingerie. If you cut a fabric like this on the bias, you can use it in the cups and the straps and stuff. And Liz from Liz Sews very, very kindly did a sew along for the Boylston bra because I asked her to. She very kindly did that. So I have no excuse for not getting to those because there is a sew along. There is lots of help available. I can totally do this. I can totally do this. Okay, I'm going to be lazy and not pin. It's very bad. But these fabrics just kind of stick to themselves. We need one of you on there because I'm cutting out two of you. Okay, so that's my waistband done. Just need some interfacing for that, but I'm doing that at a later stage. So these ones I am going to pin because they are slightly trickier shapes. Can I get it on? Okay. Yes, I can. Where did I get to with the chat? Okay. Thank you, Harold. Oh God, I got a comment on one of my circle skirt videos from somebody this morning, just saying, "Oh, I wish I'd seen this this video with the wind blew your skirt up." And it was just like, really, really, was that strictly necessary? They either thought better of it and deleted the comment themselves, or there's some kind of like magic going on because the comment had actually disappeared. I got the email about it, but then that was it. I couldn't see it on the actual video because I was going to go in and block the person. This is an awkward piece of fabric to cut out. But we can do it. We can do it. Okay, so that's the pocket facing done. Put that over to the side. Put it in the right pile. Let's get the actual under pocket cut out. Diana says, "You're so fast at cutting out. I'm so slow. Takes me forever." Oh, I'm glad you think it's fast. I always like I was saying, when I filmed the kind of like bird's nest view down, I always get so envious of when I speed it all up, and I'm just like, oh God, I wish I could cut out that fast. Jennifer says, hi, Harold, please play nice or I'll put you on mute. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so trim off those little bits, but we'll put that in the scrap pile. That can go in the dog bed pile. Okay, so I'll just cut off that little bit and that little bit, but then this is a nice bit for the scrap pile as well. So you do end up with, if you do take a scrap bundle, you end up with some smaller pieces like those, as well as some of the larger pieces. Right, so that's the pocket. Now I need to do, I've done pockets and waistband lining for the skirt, and now I need to do the pockets lining for the skirt as well. So actually need to make sure I've unfolded enough fabric. There we go. You've all gone very quiet. Very quiet indeed. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the trousers today. I really want to though. Maybe we'll have a look. We'll see. We shall see. This pocket piece has like stripes on it from when I made my stripy lemony dress, and then it's got a big flower on it from when I made the Waratah dress. All of my pattern matching attempts. Carol says I'm sewing. Oh, Jennifer says she ate something that didn't agree with her. Oh, that's not good. Carolyn says, quiet. My husband would not agree. They do sound nice, these scissors, don't they? So nice. So I'm going to have some birdies that are upside down, but this is a pocket lining, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Really need to try this dress again with a kind of roll neck underneath of it. I tried wearing the 9357 with one of my kind of crew neck ones, and I didn't like how that looked, but it should look quite nice with a roll neck under it. Right, so that's the pocket done. So let's see how we're doing. Okay. So I'm going to fold this little bit of cotton lawn that I've got left, really down to the dregs now. But I've done quite well out of this cotton lawn. So I'm going to fold this up and put it aside for lingerie making, because there should be enough to at least make bra cups and a pair of knickers out of that lot. Now I've just got to try and remember which box is my lingerie box, because all the labels are the wrong way around on this one. I think it's this one. God, can I get this down without dropping everything on my head? Did I get the right one? Nope. Because I've also changed things around and moved them into different boxes. This is my feather boa box. Because who doesn't have a feather boa box? Okay. Where's my lingerie stuff then? Huh. That's the fringe. That's cuffing. Oh, that's good to know that where my cuffing is. What did I do? Oh, maybe it's over there. Can I actually get this one back up? Blah! Nearly dropped that on my head. Are you the lingerie box? Oh, camera tripod in the way. Vlogger problems. Yes. So it's a kit from Evie Lalou. It's a kit from Quadrig. I can never pronounce that. Nederlander. It's a really pretty lace in there. Beware. 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 Beware mystery box and beware mystery box. So the advent calendar that I've got coming is for kind of this sort of stuff, I believe. So after this Christmas, I'm going to have no excuse not to try my hand at some lingerie making. Oh, I need to plug my phone back in. Battery is dying. Oh, Rachel, that's such a pretty dress. Oh, that's so pretty. Would it be, if Rachel, if you're still here, is it all right if I show everybody? It's the 8089. Let's see. Caroline says, just to go, had to go rescue the pong bits from Serdan. Floating log is now in pieces. Oh no. Janet says, I'm enjoying a snuggle with old cat Elroy and laying in bed. I keep thinking I should get up and sew, but it's 6:45 a.m. No, I think you're in exactly the right place. Alexandra says, haha, neither would mine, Carolyn, sorry. Miss Evie says, I'm looking at the pattern for the dress you're wearing and trying to figure out which fabric to cut it out of. I don't want to make it wrong and waste the fabric. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I obviously like leafy and floral ones. So, yeah. Lynn says, I'm sporadically fallen down the bra making rabbit hole. My issue was fit, larger bust to smaller frame. I found the Pin-Up Girls ruby pattern to be brilliant because the measuring is done differently. Ah, good knowledge, because I have the same. I have a small frame and big boobs. Jennifer says, Lynn, that's my issue as well when I want to make my own lingerie. Miss Evie says, feather boa box, new goal. Lynn says to Jennifer, Pin-Up Girls use the actual underbust measurement for the band. The cup is the lowest point of the underwire to bust apex. Fits like a glove first time. Ooh, cool. Lottie says, be careful, learn from my mistake. I dropped a tub on the bridge of my nose before Halloween and it's still sore. Oh, ouch, you poor thing. H.E. So says, my feather boa box is next to my petticoat box. I mean, technically I'm supposed to sew with those. Like I bought them to sew them onto something, which is why they're down here, because I have two of the same. Eliza says, "Oh, granddaughter here, so I'm off to get her fed. We'll try and join it later or catch up the playback. Have a great day, everyone." Thank you for joining us, Eliza. Miss Evie says, "I found 25 yards of chiffon on Amazon for $2.50 a yard, so I thought it would be safe practicing without feeling like I'm wasting it." Yeah, definitely. Nicola says, "I've been collecting lingerie supplies, looking to start in the new year." You're in the same boat. In the same boat. Right. Okay, so I've still got to cut out the silk for the sleeves and the lining of the waistcoat and the lining of the Sorrento jacket. Let's do the lining of the Sorrento jacket first. I'm going to do it with this Lena crepe, which I have quite a lot left over. This was from 5 meters. Let's do this properly. So this is fairly slippery, but it's not quite slippery enough that I would want to line the sleeves of my Sorrento with it, which is why I'm going to line the sleeves with the silk instead. Let's try and get this all to lie on grain. Always fun with slippery fabrics. Okay. Getting down to the last little scraps of this as well. So, that one's got to be cut on the fold, and that one fits in there nicely. That's good. Okay. Probably done this wrong way around, haven't I? But never mind. Never mind. Yeah, it looks like I'm not here anymore, doesn't it? Sorry. And again, I'm lining the Sorrento jacket because I prefer jackets with a lining in them, which is, again, a personal preference. It's not something that you have to do. So this is an extra step. But I think it's going to look really pretty. And it means that I don't have to overlock the inside of my jacket or bind every edge. And I just, for some reason, don't like overlocking woven fabrics. And again, it's a personal preference. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Definitely makes for quicker construction than all the French seams that I do instead. But just one of those things. What am I going to do with this last little bit of this? Probably line something else. One more pin. We placed an order for some Pico elastic in different colours so I could get some more pairs of undies. I made mine out of leftover. Oh no, collection is stable. Eek. Oh, I hope it comes back soon. Leftover cotton jersey, making t-shirts. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the internet's playing up a little bit now. That's no good, is it? Alison says, me made undies are so much more comfy and longer wearing than anything you can buy. Creative Mrs. K says, I love the cutting live stream, especially because I love seeing your sewing updates during the week. Oh, thank you. Nimue says, ha, quilt block finished, just in time to start waffle making. I think that's it for me today. I have some stuff to get done on the computer later. Have fun with the rest of the stream, peeps. Thank you for joining us. And Miss Evie says to Nimue to enjoy your waffles. Jennifer says connection is better. And Charlie says, suddenly you're breaking up pixel-wise. Yeah, no, I think it dropped out for a second here. It said my connection was unstable. Don't know why. We meant to have like 4G backup built in. So not sure what's going on there. But fingers crossed it behaves itself for the rest of the stream. This stuff is more of a pain to cut out. It's very slippery. But it will be worth it. It will look very pretty. It will look very pretty indeed. So what other audiobooks is everyone listening to at the moment? I'm going through the Dune series again because I got obsessed again because of the movie. And I'm still waiting for them to bring out the remainder of the Peabody series. Because like the last book's available, but then there's 2 that are missing and I don't want to miss out on the story. So I'm sure they'll release them at some point. They've got to, right? Okay, so that's now going to go into my lining cupboard or cubby hole. When I reorganized my fabric the other day, I did it so that it was all in color order for this collection. And then I really loved how it looked. And I was like, maybe I should reorganize my entire fabric collection into color order. And then it was just like, well, I mean, you could, but that would take a very long time. So I think I've talked myself out of it. Because at the moment I've got it organized by type and then in color. I was thinking, oh yeah, it would just be really fun to have like all of the greens together and then all of this together. But I think the reason that it works so well for this collection is that the majority of the ones that I have left are the solid colors. Whereas if I start mixing in all the prints, I don't think it would maybe look quite as good as I'm imagining it would. Okay. Now that's my notch. Okay, so I've got pretty sure there they are. There's some notches down here for pleats. Get my armhole cut out, and then we can move on to cutting out some silk. Charlie says it's better now. Alison says, Sian, have you ever considered using patterns from Pattern Emporium, Style Arc and Love Notions? I have quite a few Style Arc patterns. I'm gearing up to trying to use them because I've heard that the instructions are notoriously brief. And the first one that I want to do is, of course, something like the Ziggy jacket. So it's going to be a more difficult. So anyway, because this is me we're talking about. Pattern Emporium, yes. I mean, I was looking through my collection of PDF patterns the other day, and I have so many, and I have so many patterns just in general. There are so many that I want to try. It's just time, getting the time to try them, and then also the money for buying them all. But I do have Style Arc patterns. I don't think I have any Love Notion ones. But it's not because I don't like them, it's just because I have so many. Let's see. Miss Evie says, some self-help books prepping for the New Year's resolutions to come. I'm just going to take up bullet journaling again. I miss it. I bought myself the DIY fish planner inserts this year, and then we moved, and it kind of just all, I did January, and it kind of all fell by the wayside. But I've been watching bullet journal videos again, and there's a couple that I've seen, like Plant-Based Bride. She's given me some ideas for a way that I could make it work for me. So, and I bought myself a traveler's notebook, and I think that's why it's going to work for me, is because I'm going to have a messy notebook for scribbling notes in. I'm going to have my what I've made notebook, because I always worry that if I put a collection at the beginning, then I'm going to run out of space. So I'm just going to have the bullet journal as an actual journal. I think that's going to work for me, because I do enjoy having a journal, and I've also decided that I'm not an artist and I want them to be pretty, but I'm going to get myself some pretty washi tapes and do it that way. Sorry, that was a total random tangent, wasn't it? The creative Mrs. K says, just recently listened to A Girl of the Limberlost and loved it. Ooh, never heard of that one. Janet says, I'm kicking it old school and listening to Ian Rankin on CD. Oh, cool. The Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse. I love that book, and I got him to autograph it for me when I met him at Comic-Con. Sand Dollar Studio says, I read it years ago. The movie from eons ago was terrible. Yeah. Nadia says, hi, I'm thinking of lining a coat in a quilted lining. Do you suggest I size up? Thanks. You need to take into account the amount of ease that there will be. Mum quilted the lining on my Kelly anorak, and I made the size that the pattern suggested, and it is a little snug, so maybe it might be worth considering sizing up one size, but it depends what type of coat it is as well, because some of them are meant to be way more oversized than others, and if it was an oversized coat, then no, but if it's like a closely fitting one, then yes. Kathleen says, I recently reorganized my wall of fabric by colour. It had been by type, but I like the colour order much better. It wouldn't take you that long. You massive enabler. Yeah, I might do it. Oh gosh, I've forgotten what your name is. I know it begins with a P. Priscilla? Crockett P. I would love a New York meetup. I'm in Michigan, but I'm wanting to hit New York up Saturday for fabric shopping. Priscilla? Did I get that right? Told you I'd forget it. Memory like a sieve. Jennifer says, okay, need to start on my massive cooking marathon. I'll be going. Can't wait to see the final make, Sian. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. Miss Evie says, oh yeah, going Plant-based definitely needs prep. I tried it blindly. I could not stick to it, so it's definitely different for everyone. Nia says, just listen to A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. All I can say is shocked face. Ooh. Go Tell the Bees I Am Gone is nearly out, isn't it, Nia? I'm looking forward to that. Wow, such beautiful silk. It might seem crazy to use this for a lining, but the idea of trying to squeeze a top that I would like out of these stripes and pattern match these stripes in silk does not appeal. And I love the idea of a silk lining in my waistcoat. So that's why I'm splurging and using this as lining fabric. It is so pretty. It's making my eyes go crazy. And it does not want to stay on the ironing board, so that bodes well for its slippiness. Because it's very slippery. I have a feeling this is not going to be that much fun to cut out. But it'll be worth it when it's done. I've got to just keep telling myself that. Okie dokie. That is all ironed. I think I'm going to be able to get more than just one waistcoat and a set of sleeves out of this, which is good. Oh, it's making my eyes go funny. I'm going to do it this way. I think this end is on grain. Making anyone else's eyes go funny? Miss Evie says, oh, that silk is so flowy. Yes. Nia says, was very rude by the end. Yes, can't wait for bees. I love the Outlander books. Diana says, so do most people cut notches outward or inward? Depends on the seam allowance. Most of the patterns I work with have a big seam allowance, like a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I cut into the seam allowance. It also depends on the type of fabric. Sometimes I will mark them with either a pin, which is a very rare occurrence, to be honest, or I will mark them with a pen, which is much more likely to be what I do. Okay. You can always tell if you've got a stripe on grain, which I think, as long as the stripe's printed on grain, of course, which I think this one is. There we go. Oh, it's making my eyes go so funny. Maybe it's a good job I'm not making a top out of this. Blimey. Laurel says, I mostly cut my notches outwards. Miss Evie says to Diana, I just mark them. Sam Dollar says, I disagree. You rattle off pattern numbers like nobody's business. Miss Evie says, yes, just a bit, lol. And Ilova says, love your scissors. Yeah, me too. One of the best gifts I was ever given from a subscriber. Okay. I'm going to use a few more pins in this one because this is going to be a slippery little sucker. Quoting Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. The snail got away from her, didn't it? Oh, this is making my eyes go so funny. Very good job. I'm not going to be making a top to wear out of this. No, I mean, like a top that's going to be seen at all times. Kind of, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okie dokie. So there's my sleeve. Now I need my full waistcoat pieces. So you fit there. And you will fit there. Which means, how can I do this better? You can fit there. And you're too long for there, which is annoying, but never mind. So you can go there. Yeah. So I've got a little bit left over. Not sure what I'm going to use that for, but there we go. Laurel says, I've started doing more thread marking, so sometimes I mark my notches that way. That's also very good. Janet says, always expect the picture of the pattern to pop up when Sean mentions a pattern, lol. Usually I do that. But live, that's not an option. Ilova says, I have my collection by colour, but I'm thinking about going by type, then colour, sometimes to do something to do during the holiday break. Yeah, I do like it by type, then colour. I'm thinking when I redo my wardrobe, I'm going to do it by colour because at the moment it's by pattern. So all the eaves are together and it just drives me nuts how chaotic it looks. So I'm going to organise by colour. I did that with Wilson's, and yeah, it looks so much better. Mind you, with Wilson's was just a gradiating scale of grey. He does have one purple shirt. Well, it's a purple plaid shirt and a couple of red ones, but the majority of them are grey. Tammy C says, I'm amazed at people can cut out fabric with scissors. I use a rotary cutter and pattern weights. If I use scissors, the edges look like a dog ate them, and I have really good scissors. Yeah, I can't get on with rotary cutter. I'm always amazed that people can do it with a rotary cutter. Anessa says, Sean, it's not making the camera funny. That's good. Carolyn says, I cut my notches outward, and then when I sew the seam, trim, they disappear. Diana says, I have the same problem. Charlie says, could you wear sunglasses? Yeah, I need to. This is already giving me a headache. Alison says, the Overlord Binks is meowing for me to go to bed. I have just finished cutting out the Vogue 9090. You would love this pattern. It has pockets, Binks sends purrs and headbutts. Thank you, Binks, and good night. And thank you for joining us, Alison. It's very nice to see you. Right. Get this one cut out. So I haven't cut the outer for this waistcoat out yet. I'm going to do that out of the Real wool. And the reason I've not cut the outer out yet is because I am going to be making some sorrel trousers out of it. And these waistcoat patterns, as you can see, are kind of like narrow, so they fit really nicely into this, like the extra bit where when you're cutting out trousers. So I don't want to just cut the waistcoat pattern out until I've got the trouser pattern perfected. And I've traced the sorrel trousers out, but I still need to alter them. I need to lower the crotch, and I need to smooth out the difference from the waist to the hips, because there's 5 pattern size difference for me for Pauline and Alice. So I'm not sure if it's going to work for me or not. I hope it does, because I really like how those trousers look. Mum's made them. She's done a lot of modifications to them, and she said they were way too wide leg for her, so I think they're going to be perfect for me. So that was going to be one of the projects I worked on next. But I also want to do the 7131 trousers again, which is the pattern that Karen sent me for my KB pattern swap. And I've made them once, and I need to make them again in a bigger size and with a slightly more allowance in the crotch depth, because I didn't put enough in, and it was so slightly uncomfortable to wear. Right, cutting out silk. Wish me luck. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's going to make a really pretty lining. And I think that if I ever do roll the sleeves of my Sorrento jacket up, it's going to be really nice to have kind of like this stripy flash of colour. Ooh. Got a thread attacking me. Ah! The silk is attacking. Come here. Here we go. Death by silk. Yeah, for people saying like it's amazing how you cut out with scissors. Like, again, like I find it utterly transfixing how you guys manage to cut out with rotary cutters, because I just cannot get those things to work for me. I have a very beautiful rotary cutter. I bought the pretty pink one with the flowers on it from one of the shows because I really wanted it, and I can't get on with them. Every now and again I keep cutting into paper because of this stupid table covering as well. Okay, I think I've done all the easy bits. Like I say, I prefer cutting with my scissors to the right of the pattern, or sorry, on the so the pattern's on the right hand side of the shears and the fabric's on the left, which I don't think is how you're taught to do it, but it just feels so much nicer. Okay. Yeah, so I'm snipping my notches in because I've got a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to play with on this one. If I had a much smaller seam allowance, then I wouldn't, or I'd be very, very careful about what I was snipping into and how much I was snipping through. Let's see, where did we get to? Alison says, please give Chiana a cuddle from me. I hope you're having a great week. Thank you, I will do. Carolyn says to Tammy, same here in terms of rotary cutter, but love hearing a good pair of scissors. Alexandra says, well, it is after 2 a.m, so off to bed. Farewell, lovelies. Good night, Alexandra. Thank you for joining us. Rose says, Sian, when did you feel confident enough to skip measuring the grain line? Probably a couple of years in. This one I've kind of just eyeballed, and again I've got stripes to line up my grain line with, and the stripes do look like they are on grain, so because of the way that the fabric folded. But yeah, about 2 years. Box 3D says it has pockets. Deanna says, I go back and forth between rotary and scissors. Tammy C says, I often feel bad about not using my scissors because I love them, but I just suck at it. Again, I've said this many times, whatever works for you is the right way for you, because like if it works and you get the result that you want, it's the right way. Miss Evie says to Tammy, same here, I cut on fabric on the floor and pin it to a big rug, so just slide the cutting mat around under it. Floor troll. Rachel Mexie. I always say her name wrong, don't I? Okay. See, I don't like doing it this way. I find it's more difficult. It doesn't help when my scissors are getting stuck on the paper underneath. But then there comes a point where you either have to do gymnastics to be able to get at the piece you want to cut out, or you kind of just have to get on with it. My scrap bag is looking so pretty. Yeah, and I've caught the pin on the paper as well. Grr. And getting there, guys, getting there. We are getting there. Usually my cutting out sessions get dictated by how my feet feel, and today they are not too bad. Because majority of times I can totally work longer than I do, but because my feet hurt, it's like, and now you should stop. And so I do. Okay, so I've just got that one left to do. The curve on this angle, not fun, but we can do it. So when I went to Northampton with Big Bird, we went to Selvage and Bolts. That was the reason we went to Northampton, was to see Dibs at Selvage and Bolts. And she'd had this silk on the website, and it was, she said she only had a 50 centimeter piece left, and I was going to buy it, the 50 centimeter piece, for lining this waistcoat, because I was like, 50 centimeters, I can get the lining of the waistcoat out, and I just would have done it, just. But when I got there, it turns out that there was 1.25 meters left of it, which has meant that I can have some sleeves. Sleebles, which I love that name. I actually don't mind setting in sleeves though. I really don't mind setting in sleeves at all. Right, so I have got a little bit left that I could probably line something else with, maybe pockets only, but that's going to go in my lining stash as well. So just got to finish cutting out this sleeve piece, or these sleeves, because there's two of them, isn't there? So might even make some hair ties and face coverings with that leftover piece. I would have to interline the face coverings with cotton lawn, but how fancy would that be? Although this fabric is making my eyes hurt, so maybe that wouldn't be such a good idea. But hair ties would be pretty, and I wouldn't have to look at those. Okay, so just my sleeve cap to go. And the only reason I'm moving this stuff around like this is because I've pinned it so thoroughly that I feel confident that it's not going to move around too much when I move it around like that. Like really super, super slippery fabrics, you do not do that with. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you guys, Tammy, I think you were saying you didn't like cutting out with scissors. One of my tips is when you're cutting, don't cut with the scissors all the way closed. When you cut like so that it doesn't quite close at the tip of the scissor. So you're kind of like doing that, and then moving the fabric, moving the scissors along, and then opening again. Don't ever cut like that, because that end closing can really jolt the fabric. But again, if you like cutting out with a rotary cutter, don't force yourself to cut out with scissors, because there's nothing worse than making a task harder on yourself because you don't like the way that it has to be done. So let's see. Karen says, you're way ahead of me. I had ginger jeans for many years now and still not even attempted them. I find my tastes wandered over to the 70s, flared from the knee jeans. Me too, Karen. Me too. But it was still fun putting that parcel together for you. I enjoyed making, because I bought Karen the ginger jeans and then the jeans making book. And that book will work for the 70s styles as well, won't it? So I printed it all off and laminated it and spiral bound the book. It was a lot of fun because I hadn't played with my bookmaking stuff for ages. Okay. Right, let's catch up with the chat a little bit. I'm going to sit down for a second. So you guys are going to feel a little bit seasick for a second whilst I reposition you. We were going for 3.5 hours. Oh, I nearly unplugged you then. That would have been a disaster. Right. I need more water. Okay. I found my skirt is long enough that I can, if I'm not careful, run my chair over it, which isn't great. But yeah, look how pretty that all looks together. It's making me want to kind of like move everything else around. Carol says, use rotary cutters for cutting out bra pieces, scissors for only for garments. Yeah, no, I've seen like Evie Lelouve does that as well. So I might try it. You never know. I'll give it a go. Debbie says, Noelle from Costuming Drama can't get on with rotary cutters either. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Oh, got all the grey hair. I haven't dyed my hair for ages. So, Debbie read that one. Carol says, I agree on cutting to the left of the pattern. Emily Horman does it that way too. Yeah, I don't know. I swear I've read it somewhere that you're meant to cut with the pattern, the pattern on your left and the fabric on the right, but I prefer it the other way around. And again, like, again, whatever works for you is the right way. Mary says, are those a pair of Kai shears? Yes. Heard they're fantastic. I have a pair of Karen K. Buckley that are superb. Yes, they are Kai shears. They were a gift from KK about 4 years ago, and they are amazing. She also gave me the pinking shears. I'd never heard of Kai before I got those, and I'm just so grateful because they're amazing. Debbie says, how about choosing the denim top stitching thread in a colour that matches the lining stripes? That's what I was thinking, like that mustard, that goldy mustard colour would be quite nice, but I do think the nutmeg's also going to work. So like when I say nutmeg, I kind of mean this sort of like browny colour there. Carol says, when I learned to sew, we cut notches out. Now I mostly just do a single clip into the centre of the notch. Yeah, me too. Rose says, I use rotary, I'm faster with it, but it also much less aggravating than scissors, even spring ones for my tendonitis. Ah, yes. Mary says, are those Kai shears? I have a pair of Karen. I've read that one. Oh, yeah, you've said it again. Miss Evie says, were you taught to sew? Are you self-taught? Completely self-taught. Yeah, completely self-taught from just trying badly. Watch my UFOs and early sewing project videos. The insides of those are not good. Yeah, and mostly kind of like blogs and then YouTube. Box 3D says, I'm also floor fabric cutting gang. Floor troll! Tammy C says, I just do a single clip for my notches as well. Miss Evie is laughing at Box 3D for floor trolls unite. Yes. Anissa says, on that note, there's an update on the lino. It's over there. I have it. There. That roll there. We've got the glue and everything. Now we just need some time because we're going to have to tent everything because it's a spray glue. So, yeah. Miss Evie says, you're so fast at cutting out fabric. Thank you. Feels like, so we've cut out the Sorrento outer and lining, the skirt and the lining pieces for that, and then the lining for a waistcoat. So I've only done 3 things in 3.5 hours, so I don't know how fast that actually is. Treasures Noir says, hello peeps, finally caught up live. Had a big sewing day yesterday, but now I'm editing a video. Oh, good luck with that. Editing is so much fun. Tammy C says, okay, thank you. I might try that on an apron or something. Yeah, I mean, only because you said you really like your scissors and you've got fancy scissors. So if you fancy giving it a try, that's definitely one thing that I would recommend, is that you don't cut all the way closed every time. Just leave the end open and glide. That makes sense. Hopefully it does. Karen says, the jeans making book is great and fitting tips still do apply. I like rotary cutter, but switch between them and scissors depending on what I'm cutting. Yeah, I really do want to try some jeans. Well, the Lander pants aren't jeans, are they? But they're going to be probably the closest I'm going to get to jeans. Miss Evie says, that's how I'm learning to sew. My adoptive college teacher got me a machine last December and sends me fabric to practice with, as well as some patterns here and there. Awesome. Treasures Noir says, "Yes, editing, so much fun, lol." Yes. Do you get sick of the sound of your own voice? I so do, especially when I'm doing a tutorial, like a sew along, and like this 9077 is like gonna be, I think there's like 2 hours of footage, so it's gonna be a really long one. I'm just like, ugh. Um, Mary says, "I'm always amazed at some of the people as yourself who are self-taught and do such beautiful work." Thank you. I think it's one of those things as well that, like, I'm a self-taught photographer as well, and I'm awful at it because I just don't have the same level of enthusiasm and interest that I do for sewing. And I think you've got to have that love of the thing and just to push yourself to get better at it. Yeah, some of my early stuff was awful, but it's the same with the bra making. Like I say, first pancake, it's never going to be perfect. So yeah. Um, Carolyn says, "Go Miss Evie, have fun." Kathleen says, "Many years ago, I cut out on the floor. My cat at the time would start at one end of the room and zoom across the pattern pieces until they were in a mess." Yes. Jane says, I'm a scissors girl, only use rotary for quilting." Yeah, I still, with a quilting rulers and a straight line, I can just about manage them. Um, Miss Evie says, "Sewing notes from the stream, scissors equals glide." Yes. And Tammy C says, "Yes, that do." Notes. Yeah, it's Miss Evie says to Carolyn, "Thank you." And Vox 3D says, "For jeans, check Vicky Sews Brittany pants. Not sure if it's your style." I have a lot of jeans patterns already. Um, I think I want to try the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans though, and I haven't got that one. I keep going to buy it, but everywhere I've seen it's really expensive or it's out of stock. Um, I have got the Lander pants, and I want to try those ones as well because some of this. So what I've got remaining of my Savannah is I've got about 8 meters of the Visco challis there. Some of which is going to be a pirate sleeve shirt, and then the rest of it I think I'm going to squirrel away for future proofing against me putting more weight or losing more weight. But I've got the linen chambray, which is what I'm going to make the trousers that Karen gave me, the 7131 trousers out of, because I think that's going to look really, really nice. Yes, it's going to be very summery, but if I don't make them now, as I've been saying all stream, if I don't make it now, it's going to get put off and then it will just never get done. And then I have some of the cotton drill as well. I think I've got 2.5 meters of this one, although it feels like a very small cut. I've got 2.5 meters of this, and I want to make trousers out of this as well, like the Lander pants. So, and this has some stretch in it, which is nice. Yeah, and I'm hoping I'm going to have enough for a waistcoat as well. We shall see. But I did buy this cotton drill with the intention of making ginger jeans, and I just don't think I suit skinny jeans anymore, because the way I want to wear skinny jeans is with my boots tucked into them, or the jeans tucked into the boots, and I can't get my boots on over just tights at the moment because I have put weight on my legs as well. So there is absolutely zero chance that I'd get them on over these jeans, so I just probably wouldn't wear them. So yeah. Treasures Noir says, "I do. I laugh at how cringy I am. I'm such a dork." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally feel you on that one. Totally feel you. So yeah. So it's 3:45. Now I do want to do those trousers, but I also need to eat. And I haven't got any food in the house, so I'm going to have to go and buy some food. So I'm not going to expect you guys to wait for me whilst I go and do that. So I think I'm going to call it a day now. But it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Oh, actually, before I do call it a day, I have some fabric that I am really tempted to make the Vogue 9345 shirt dress, so the one with the giant sleeves. And I bought it from Australia, but I found it in the UK. So it was one of those ones that it was like, I can't make anything with this because it's so precious, and if I fluff it up, I can't go anymore. But I found it Croft Mill. I have it in both the navy and the cream, So I'm thinking, 2 secs. Oh, let's put this away. Let's tidy as we go, shall we? I do sometimes just, oh, no, don't get, got my dress caught under the wheel. That's no good. I do sometimes just sit here and like look at my fabric stash. Right. Actually, that can go into there now, can't it? So this one. Now I have this on a navy background as well, and I've got 5 meters of both. Make sure I don't catch the skirt. And I'm thinking it's going to need to be lined because it's really sheer looking at it. Yeah, I'm thinking that it goes well. I mean, all of these fabrics kind of blend together tonally. That was why they were all picked for the Pirate Capsule collection. So I'm thinking I might make the Vogue 9345 with the giant sleeves with this one, and that should give me enough to make a top left out because I've got 5 meters, and they have got this in Croft Mill fabrics in the UK now because like I said, I bought it from Darn Cheap Fabrics in Australia. I saw a girl on Instagram, she'd made a sew over Eve dress out of this, and I was totally going to copy her, but I do mine on the cross grain, and this is actually a directional print, and so I couldn't cut the skirt pieces out the way that I wanted to, which meant that I would have had to shorten them, which would meant that I probably wouldn't have liked the dress. So I'm thinking, oh, excuse me, hiccups, I think. That's not good. Yeah, I'm thinking if I did the Vogue 9345 shirt dress with giant sleeves with this, then I would have enough for it. But would that, because that could be worn in spring as well as autumn and winter, couldn't it? Because if I line the bodice of this but leave the sleeves slightly sheer, I could wear warm things under this in the cooler months, and then I could still wear this in the spring as well. What do you think? Mary says, the colorization of the fabric you have just completed was a good idea. It helps you find colors more quickly than moving your eyes all over the place. Looks great. You guys are talking me into it. You guys are talking me into this, moving all this around. The other thing that I was thinking about doing was putting them into collections. That's also a possibility. Carolyn says, Miss Evie, my home ec class was thrown to the wolves situation, but I grew up watching my grandma sew. Just watching, you can do this for sure. Totally. If I can learn to do this, you can totally learn to do this. The joy when you make something and it fits you nicely, and it doesn't. I'm like, I used to wear some of my old ones out, and again, like I say, there's a UFO videos on my channel just showing you the insides of what some of these garments look like. There was holes in them, I hadn't hemmed them properly, there was no finishing. Oh my gosh, they were a nightmare, but I wore them out proudly because I'd made this thing and it looked, as far as I was concerned, really pretty. So yeah. Miss Evie says to Carolyn, the only reason I got onto YouTube was to subscribe to sewing channels, lol. And the Peeps group is my first attempt at joining sewing folks in hopes to learn and socialize a bit, lol. Oh, well, you're very welcome, and I'm glad you found us. Laurel says, ooh, pretty. Diana says, Sean, you too are an artist, a fiber artist. Oh, thank you. Miss Evie says, Carolyn, I'm learning. I'm struggle with patience for how long things will take. It will always take about 3 times longer than expected, but that changes with time as well. Like the more you practice, the better you get at things. And whilst yes, you do need to still take your time with some stuff, you will get faster at certain things. So it is just repetition and practice. Miss Tammy C says, what would you line it with? I'm ordering some ivory coloured viscose from the fabric room. So I do the bodice in that and the skirt in that because this is sheer. It will need a lining. And then, yeah, like I say, leave the interline the cuffs and the collar probably as well. And then yeah, interline the collar and the cuffs. Leave the sleeves sheer and line the bodice and the skirt with ivory viscose Viscose twill probably. It'll have a nice weight to it. Lynn says, I'm a yes to any dress with big sleeves, and that fabric is gorgeous. Lynn, Croft Mill Fabrics, look through their viscose section. They've got it on the navy background as well. Not that I'm enabling or anything. Miss Evie says, to the spring fall question, both my daughter and I nodded and said, in unison. Awesome. Karen says, yes, do the fabric organization and bring us along. I love watching those. Okay. Should we do that next Saturday? Not Saturday, next Sunday then? Should we reorganize my fabric? I can always put it back if I hate it, can't I? Vanessa says, I think your fabric is better by type, easier to find, and then when it goes in a collection by color, it's that, but that's it, but it's not my fabric. Treasure Noir says, yes, practice makes not perfect, but less mistakes, lol. Yeah. Carolyn says, think of it this way, time well spent, Miss Evie. Lynn says, no, I do not need more fabric. Yes, you do. Make me feel better about myself. Yeah, because this, I mean, again, this, like, obviously this has purple in it and this one doesn't, but it does kind of, the tones go, don't they? I mean, that was, again, like I said, the whole point of this selection of fabrics was that supposedly they kind of go together. Right, so that one can go in there. And then, oof. I just love playing with fabric so much. There we go. Feel like an evil Bond villain. That was just momentum. I'm not doing that. Such an elegant creature. Miss Evie says yes, and then she says to Carolyn, definitely, it's my first real hobby, and my daughter is growing so fast. We run tools, so it'll help to be able to make her clothes that actually fit her. Yeah, that's the reason I got into it, because nothing on the high street fit me. So yeah. Caroline says, so pretty. Treasures Noir says, yes, it's beautiful. Judith says, any plans for the pattern swap this year? Did announce it earlier, but you weren't here, obviously. I'm not doing one this year, but I am doing the spring summer one and the Christmas one next year. I'm just taking a break from it this year. There is another one going on, the Camden Stitch. I don't know if she's organizing it, but I know she's taking part. Camden Stitch. There she is, JJ. Okay, Secret Sewing Swap, hosted by Sewing in Pajamas. So there is a swap going on this year. I don't know the ins and outs of this one, but there is a swap going on. Secret Sewing Swap 21, hosted by Sewing in Pajamas. Gemma. And yeah. So there is one to take part in if you would like to, and I will be running mine again from spring summer. I just want to sit and play with fabric now, but I'm also really, really tired. Yeah, let's see next week if I do decide to like reorganize this, or let's see how many people are just like, stop it, or like, yeah, let's do this. Oh, I don't know. I will probably find some ones in there as well that I'd be willing to let go of, because I think there are a few of the quilting cottons that I am going to be willing to part with, but not many others, because I just, as I think I've said a couple of times, I'm pretty much in love with everything in here now. This is my polyester cabinet or cubbyhole, and whilst I'm not a huge fan of polyester, I love all the prints that are in there. So yeah, I think there's going to be some that I'm just like, you'll pry this out of my cold dead hands. So yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that the cubby holes are slightly, because these three were all fully stuffed, and now that I'm starting to cut things out, they will they're kind of like decreasing, so that's good. That is good. Um, Judith says, thanks, Sean. Caroline says, then you will know what to keep an eye out for on the 19th. Kathleen says, hey, you organized your patterns, time to tackle the fabric. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, because also, like, it's bugging me that I've got patterns going across the top like that. I think I want them to be going down in a line like that. So, yeah. Even if I don't put them into different, even if I don't put them into just colours and leave them as they are by type, then maybe it would just be good to have a bit of a clear out. Yes, let's do that next weekend. Let's do that. You guys are the best. Right. I'm going to call it a night though, because, well, I mean, an afternoon, because it's only 4 o'clock. But like I say, I am starving. And I need to go out and do some shopping to get some food. And I need to try and find a shop that's going to be open, because they all close at 4 on a Sunday. Where am I going to get food from? It'll be fine. I'll find something. So thank you very much for hanging out with me, you guys, and helping me get more projects prepped. I have 10 there. I'm going to do those trousers tomorrow, and then I'm going to start sewing the cape. So I might get, because the trousers are not going to take too long to do. So yeah, I can get that done tomorrow. Sorry, this is I fiddle with my jewelry when I thinking. Yes, so thank you very much for hanging out with me this afternoon, helping me cut all that stuff out. It was lovely having your company. It really was. So it was very much fun. And next week we are going to be organizing some fabric, even if it's just to take it out and play with it and put it back in. Mum has spent so long folding all of that stuff, so it's in the perfect size. So I won't disturb that for sure. Anyway, I'm waffling now, aren't I? So I will see you all next week live, but I'll see you tomorrow. I have a vlog going up tomorrow as well. So thank you for hanging out with me, and let's try and end it gracefully. Bye.